Oh, no. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do 2 intros. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another video. I like the thought of someone watching that VOD, saw that the intro looped, and then clicked ahead on the track bar, only to realise it was just a matter of seconds. Hello, everyone. This is part 16. It's the second part in this playlist that I've just titled for now as The End. Because I think this is the last episode. We did one called The End when we beat the story about 7 parts ago. And of course it will continue. Of course we're only really halfway through. We've seen 2 maps and we've seen, you know, what was it in the end, 10 story chapters? But the whole thing will be double length eventually. There'll be another map coming in January, is that right? January, February? I don't know, the time's a bit iffy this time because we're obviously 3 months offset. And then there'll be another patch, I guess, early summer next year, which seems like a long way off. But that'll be the next map, and we'll see where we're going with that. So yeah, this is it for Visions of Eternity for now. I've already been looking into the next series, which is a return to Oblivion. I've been, you know, getting a lay of the land and stuff. I'm actually there's a weird thing going on with Oblivion, which is... I'll talk about this soon. In another video, if you guys join me for that playlist. Check out the playlist on my my main channel. So basically, the studio that got contracted to do it had mass layoffs. So they did a patch 1.1, which went out while I was Let's Playing. Then they did a patch. Then I stopped to do the end of Janthea Wilds, and they did a patch 1.2, which broke all the mods and the whole scene really. They were working on a patch 1.3 and got hit with layoffs, and that's it. So there's only one update, really. Even though it's been nearly half a year, there's only one update to the game. So, yeah, so weirdly, like, that sucks for that scene, and, like, all the modding has died and everything.
Wonderful.
But on the other hand...
The inquest down considerably.
It's been okay for me, because it means there's not actually too much to recap. And it means that the installation I set up a couple of months ago should still work. So, yeah. Anyway, but before all of that, let's talk about the end of Visions of Eternity here. First of all, it is midday. I've recorded basically every episode of this series in the evening, usually starting at 5, 6, or 7. There were a couple a little bit later than that. But no, I'm doing midday today because I'm meeting with Boots later to record a Visions of Eternity Boots Bad build. So check that out as well, guys. I got no idea what he's cooked up, but it should be pretty fun. Anyway, just in terms of like timing and stuff, he's still in bed at the moment. So I'm recording now so that then I can record with him later so that then I can do other stuff in the evening. But yeah, so to those who made it here in the middle of the day, welcome. Thank you. You know, it's... hopefully not too weird of a time slot for everybody. I see we got a donation as well from French Magpie 4433. Thank you, French Magpie, who donated 10 euros. That's very generous of you. Thank you. I hope everybody gives that a little love heart thing. Or it's not a love heart, is it? It's just a heart. Anyway, they have a question, which is excellent. If you guys give me a donation with a question, I will do my absolute best to answer it as best as I can. Hi, they say. If a Guild Wars 3 was to happen, I do have an actual Q&A section in a second here as well, by the way, guys. If a Guild Wars 3 were to happen, what would be some Guild Wars 2 mysteries you would like to see answered before the end? So they announced Guild Wars 3. Well, okay, the thing that's tripping me up immediately is your perspective there is the perspective I think that 95% of people have, which I think is wrong and is not right, and I think we need to move on from it. Your perspective is that this game would stop. Your perspective is that they wouldn't be able to handle everything, so we have to pick and choose certain things that they'll resolve. Your perspective is that Guild Wars 3 will continue the story of Guild Wars 2. My perspective is none of those things. I think if they did a third MMO, right, I think it would still be the Guild Wars IP, the Guild Wars, you know, franchise, but I think it would be a very different setting, a very different time. You know, between 1 and 2's 250 years, and some of the legends and characters kind of cross over, and so, like, Livia is in both games and stuff. I think a Guild Wars 3 would be a much bigger jump. I think that they should go with a very fresh slate. You can keep aesthetics, right? You can keep the aesthetics of the Norn. The Norn can be there. You can keep the aesthetics of the Char, but who they are and how they are and the geopolitics and all that shit can be completely different. The land masses can be completely different. I think it would be in a completely different, like, realm in the mist and everything. So your whole question to me, like, I'm really sorry to answer like this, but the whole question I think is like none. What would I like to see answered before the end? I don't believe in an end. I know that sounds so silly. I believe like a Guild Wars 3 would come out and they would keep talking about Guild Wars. I think Guild Wars 2 would keep going, right? So let's try and be tangible here. What's a mystery? Okay, the Pyrite Peninsula, all right? First thing that springs to mind. What is this golden orb? Why is this the Pyrite Peninsula? What is happening here? Why does this look like the heart of an Elder Dragon, a bit like the heart of Karakotoric, right? Well, we can imagine that as a mystery. Another mystery is what's going on with Shiny, right? There's a hint about Shiny. I don't quite remember exactly what, but the Key of Adashim, they suggest Shiny's still out there, don't they? Gorin had the egg for a while. The egg hatched. Like, Shiny's a mystery. Raisu Palace. What is the monster beneath Raisu Palace that's still churning out Unchained Risen? I believe that's sort of the situation, the status quo there. What's going on in this timeline right now, this snapshot of history? Timeline's not really the right word. What's going on in the battle isle? These are all mysteries. Dern Velezquez, right? Where was he really from? That's a mystery. Okay, so like for all of these topics, I think a Guild Wars 3 could come out, and they don't have to talk about those in Guild Wars 3, and they don't have to rush those out as answers. I think Guild Wars 2 continues to get mini X-Packs, or just X-Packs as they call them. And all those things are on the table, you know? What's going on with Newt Whitebear and his sickness? What's going on with the Pale Tree? You know, when we look at, like, the Lion's Arch instance at the end of Janthea Wilds, they threw a lot of shit at the wall. They threw a lot of stuff and said, we could go here, we could go here, we could go here, we could go here. They were talking about fucking Dajka and stuff, right? Or Dazlana, specifically. All that stuff, like... And there's another thing, right? So you might say, okay, WP, meet me halfway. Let's just suppose that they do shit-can Guild Wars 2. Let's just suppose that the devs are lying. Let's just suppose that they're just going to say what they can say to keep the community going. And their true ambition is to move on. Their true ambition is to get away from the spaghetti. Their true ambition is to scale back on Guild Wars 2. Let's just say let's say you're right, Mr. Conspiracy. Okay? Now, answer the question. What mysteries do you want to see resolved? I think my answer is still... I'm still going to be a jerk with my response, in as much as I don't want to see them rush to clean shit up. I don't want to see some half-baked, oh fuck, it's the final hour, let's quickly talk about Raisu Palace at the end of the day. I don't want to see that. I don't want them to write that story. I don't want to play that story. I don't want to see them ham-fistedly juggle their way through something because time is running out. Which, by the way, is effectively how I interpret the Champion story with Primordus, and it's how I interpret the Joko story in Season 3, as they were, you know, presumably looking to move to something after Season 4. So, like, I don't want to see that shit. I don't want that to be written. I don't want to indulge in it. But there you go. I just listed 4 mysteries, so let's just say those. There you go. Hopefully that was a fun answer for 10 euros. You too can pay me 10 euros for some kind of waffling long response. There you go. The U in Velezquez is silence. It's Velezquez. That's what I said, isn't it? I just said that just now as I was reading that message out, and that was my instinct. Did I say Quez? I don't think I said Quez. Unless you're directing that at someone else. Did I say it with a U? Anyway, he's fictional. I'm sure he's not too upset. Zyro says, dude, you should do a redo of your Prophecies playthrough so I can fall asleep to it. I did like falling asleep to your Nightfall stuff, but having all that in dead time with the imp is meh, and so on. Yeah, look, I agree. Look, it's not the greatest of series. It's not. And maybe I don't know. See, I've got someone watching my Grimrock 2 stuff at the moment, right? And they're saying, oh my god, I really, really like your LPs. They're so cozy. They're so this. I'm actually a little bit nervous that I don't do cozy LPs anymore. I don't know. Nobody has called Zeus cozy. I would hope it is. I would hope it's got that vibe. I don't know. Am I a bit too high-pitched or screechy or ranty? Or I don't know. I'm a little bit... Like, we can assume that a new Prophecies LP would be cozy. Would it? Would it? Would it? Is this cozy? So I don't know. But it's just the timing is wrong. The timing... If they had announced Reforged 6 months ago, do you know what? Honestly, it would have been so perfect. So perfect. If they had announced it, it's just the timing's not right. I'm going to Oblivion. I'm not saying no to a Prophecies replay. I'm really not. But forcibly timing it with Reforged, a release that I'm not that excited about right now, is not something that's on my mind. By the way, speaking about Reforged, and I stand by everything I said the other day. Speaking about Reforged, Einolf messaged me on Discord saying, by the way, the 2 Weeks guys do have their own Discord, and a few different community members have found their way over to it, and they have answered the odd question about the remaster over in their own Discord. So check that out. Find the 2 Weeks Discord. And, you know, they got some back and forth, some little Q&A rooms. And you can learn a bit more about what they're about. The other products they've made and the kind of community they've built and stuff. So that's been quite interesting. I haven't looked too closely at it. And I don't want to put undue pressure on their Discord now, where there's a bunch of ravening Guild Wars 1 fanboys. Go there. But there was an interesting post as well of, like, someone who makes Toolbox tried to get the old Nightfall character select screen running last year. And he's got, like, an unlisted video you can watch there, but some textures are missing and stuff. And people are, like, asking the 2 Weeks guys to work on that. Look, guys, be careful with what you ask of these devs, all right? Because there's 100,000 things that Guild Wars could get and could benefit from. I don't want to waste the enthusiasm on, like, quibbles. Do you know what I mean? And I am sure I'm guilty of that over the years. In so many ways, I've probably been guilty of that. But nonetheless, yeah. So anyway, sorry. We will talk about VOE in a second here, guys. I do have some little anecdotes. The game plan today is we're hopefully going to do, for the finale, 2 storylines, 2 quests. Both, I believe, are voice acted. Both, I believe, are interesting. One is largely about the Seers. And the other is, I don't actually have a clue. I think it's about Hole Gardeners, maybe? It's the getting the legendary Aqua Breather. Now, I'm not actually going to acquire the Aqua Breather here on screen. I suck at this, JP, at the moment, don't I? I'm not going to acquire the Aqua Breather on stream because I have no money. I have no money, no gems. I have 43 gold. What have I been spending on it on, you ask? Well, here, I got the Seer Enchanted Weapons. Got that collection done. I got the Inquesty weapons done, and the other one, I can't remember what it was. Basically, I have all the weapon collections for VOE done now. To finance that, I sold all the Ectos I got from various mirror challenges and stuff. I still do not have the 2 armor sets for the maps. Those have proved to be challenging. God, my instinct is still to go to JW. So the most extreme, this chest piece, I just have to get lucky doing the meta. There's no way I'm spending the 250 gold, blah, blah, blah. No fucking way. So I'm waiting to get the token from the meta. But you can only roll for that once per day, so... And then this is just doing events in Starlit. So that's a bit tricky. Extremist gloves. Do I have extremist gloves? No, I spelled that wrong. Extreme. No. So I don't have that, and I don't have the Restless Captain. I've got loads to do, to be honest, for the Restless Captain. But everything else is done now. If you check out Skimming the Seas, I've got all of my Aether location chests in the Shiver Peaks. I've got all of my Aether location chests in Ascalon. I've got all the Aether location chests in Kryta. I've got all the Aether location chests in the Tarnished Coast / Steamspur Mountains, their adjoining area. I've got all the Aether location chests in Ore and the Ring of Fire. I did Ore, by the way, and I recommend you guys do Ore as well. But Draconis Mons might be interesting, but don't you melt when you go under the water? Skimming in Draconis Mons is cool. I've got all of the Aether location chests in the Crystal Desert. I've got all of the Aether location chests in Cantha. I've got all of the Aether location chests in Janthir. I did that last night. And I have all the Aether location chests in Castora, of course. However, I do not have all the Aether location chests in the Heart and the Horn of Maguma. I have 19 out of 20. Where is it? Here. I have 19 out of 20. You can see I've got it eyeballed. It's 95% complete. Why do I not have that final chest? Like, all told, this whole achievement is getting, what, 250 chests or something? 300 chests? I'm missing 1. I have 299 out of 300. I'm missing 1. Why am I missing 1? Because it's daily gated. You can only pick up 30 per day. I already bitched about this on a previous episode, so I won't labour the point. But that's so obnoxious. First of all, as a mechanic, but second, that I'm just missing 1. So, unfortunately, I don't get the last chest, so I can't do this. So, the final episode of the LP, I would have liked this to all have been ding, 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 because this will all finish when I get it, but I'm daily gated. And I'm not going to delay this episode of the LP just to pick up one goddamn chest. What I will note is the Heart and the Horn region is really interesting because there's so little water. There's loads of water in every single expansion. This has really taught me this, playing this. But look at Heart of Thorns. There's like no water in VB, right? Because the trenches are, you know, the gas, the poison gas. There's almost no water here. There's almost no water in Tyria. I mean, there's a little bit, I think, at the falls. I didn't check. This is shallow water. The egg chamber, I think, has a bit of water. But there's almost zero water. There's water in the guild halls, and in fact, Spud is at the Lost Precipice, but it doesn't count, as far as I can tell, unless I was just daily gated when I was checking. Tangled, well, we'll talk about Tangled. Dragon Stand, there's like no water. No water, guys! Over at the Horn, very little water. There's a bit of water here in Nyos. There's this pond here. There's like a tiny pond here. There's the pool here. And a pool here, but very little for what you need, really. Very little at the Wizard's Tower. There's the floating island with a little pond. There's like this dam area here is pretty good. And the Primal Maguma, this is all water as well, which is okay. But this expansion, Secrets of the Obscure, had very little water as well. So just this region is like super parched, which is ironic considering this is a jungle. So where did I get most of my chests? And this is actually amazing. What is the solution? I guess I'll do it, actually. Well, hold on. Did I finish this, JP? Hold on, let's finish the JP. We've ended up ranting and going all over the place, haven't we? So here we go. Here, go here, go here. And there you go. I've collected all the scattered magic. Wow, I get a tropical gear bag. The thing I've been doing for this, and I will show it on screen, because I have had that much fun with it. I really have. We're going to go to Tangled Depths, the one map with some water. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, where is it? Is it in the Chuck area where we fight the Gerent? Well, there's a little bit. Not really. Is it up high around here? The Scar Bivouac? Is it near the entrance to the map? Is it at Ratanovus? All these mainstays, all these interesting areas? No, 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 no. And I hear you panicking. But WP, I don't remember any water. Oh, God. Where is the water? There's no water here. It's just like all the other Heart of Thorns maps. Except there is. Oh, yeah. It's the trenches. It's just like the Skimmer grottos in Castora. The OG grottos, guys. Look at this. I haven't been here for ages, but Heart of Thorns was fucking epic in its presentation. Look at this. So, believe it or not, this new expansion has the Skimmer grottos in Castora, and it actually has incentive for you to come back to these ones as well. You do want to collect those beacons, by the way, because the piranhas will eat you alive on this. You can use the new masteries to go as fast as possible to get through the piranha section, like I just did there. But look how fast we can move through these with our new buttons. It's a lot more engaging. And you can swim through these scanning, and you can get your chests. So, like, I got 10 chests on the first day and, like, 9 on the next day, and now I'm daily gated again, so... But there are lots of chests down here, and it's a cool excuse to come back to this fun old classic area. And that shit I love. The more that Arenanet do stuff like that, the happier, chappier I am. I do love that stuff. So, yeah, anyway, there you go. So that's a little bit more of the recap for the day. What else is there? Well, there's the big ticket thing, okay? So I dodged Seb's missiles. So I finished this. And the way I did that, actually, was not by dodging the missiles. It was by running away from them. I played Fresh Air with Super Speed, and I just sprinted away, and that's quite interesting. I'm very excited for the first raid encounter, also known as a strike, but it will be a raid encounter, that's coming out in 2 months, because I'm sure it's going to be the Seb boss fight, but for 10-man, and it's going to be really interesting. I think that's going to be a cool mechanic. People running away from the missiles, and they're not allowed to dodge them or whatever. You actually have to, like, kite them to certain things. I think that would be cool. And you get a little taste of it there in the boss fight. So I did that. For the maps, I managed to kill 2 more Gwildels. It's tricky to do this. This can't fool me. I got 2 more. But Wavehawk Savior is still bugged. Not even a scratch is still bugged. The tanning thing. And that's it. That's the expansion. So the final thing I did was actually down in End of Dragons. End of Dragons? What do you mean, WoodenPotatoes? I thought you said you'd finished End of Dragons. Well, I did. Except, hold on, fishing. The fishing section does update. Castora Fisher. Fuck me. Alright, I know some of you guys don't like swearing. I said the C word in the last episode, and I do apologize for that. I do genuinely cringe at the C word. I'm fairly liberal with language, and well, I won't get into linguistic debate and shit. But basically, I don't really mind most swear words, but the C word I do always regret a bit. However, to be fair to me, I did use it in reference to Hitler. So I think ultimately, guys, all right, if there's anyone you can call a see you next Tuesday. All right. Anyway, this was brutal, this Castora Fisher. This took me like 3 days all told to beat. What I will say is for Janthia Wilds last year, they did like the Mistburn Barrens Fisher and stuff, and they were really easy. They were very, very, very quick and easy fishing achievements. And they were very liberal with like the timing and all that kind of stuff. Like it wasn't dusk and dawn fish. It was just higher chance at dusk or higher chance at dawn, but you could get them anyway. And Secrets of the Obscure was pretty liberal and free and easy as well with the fishing. You know, you get all the Nyosian fish. You can get loads of legendary fish at the end of the Epoch meta. They were right. This year, I think Arenanet has... And they were good ways to get your codfish swimming amongst mere mortals title. This year, I think Arenanet has taken a new stance, and they've said, it's a bit easy. We're going to go harder with it. Which, you know, this to me is kind of like the fishing X-Pack, really, in terms of aesthetics and stuff. Apparently, it's nighttime again. Why is it always night when I'm trying to fucking play the game and show you guys cool stuff? So, like, I feel like they could have gone big with fishing this year, but what they actually did was they have one collection for both maps. And I think what they did was they halved the rates for the fish. Or they just kept most fish rare. So like here, for example, usually this fish on the bottom left here is like an easy fish. This is a rare fish this year. And these were really slow to get. Ridiculously slow. This guy, the elusive box crab. Holy shit, there's a story about the elusive box crab. This is one of the hardest fish I've ever had to fish up in all of Guild Wars 2. I'm talking all the crazy dusk dawn fish in Ascalon and all that kind of stuff. No. This box crab is insane. It's like the Guild Wars 2 Feebas, as far as I'm concerned. You know, so basically, the tooltip in game says found in the waters of Castora, which should mean can be on any map. Okay, it says fishing hole any. And it says Sparkfly Lava. And time of day, any. But I seriously... So last night, me and Kerry watched Jumanji. And we watched the Digimon movie. The original Digimon movie with the Digimon fusing. Okay? Can I just say, Jumanji is actually really good. Like, I thought that it was going to be a bit like E.T. or some shit. Where it's like, this really doesn't hold up. No, Jumanji is a legitimately funny, well-made movie. With a lot of really coherent callbacks. Like, I love the actual... One of the greatest things about that film is, like, as they're playing the game and things happen in the round, like it spawns monkeys. God, I'm using the word spawn. That's so fucking nerdy and lame, isn't it? It magically summons monkeys. Or it summons the stampede. Or it summons the mosquitoes. Those elements of the game continue to have an effect and continue to affect the town. Like, it's not all just in the mansion. Like, you see the chaos spread out from the board game all around the town, and it's really good. You know, like, the hunter continues to persist, and he gets knocked over by all the paint, and then later when you see him, he's got all the paint splats all over him. The drama in the movie is actually good. Like, I was invested in the kids' drama. I was invested in this girl that got called she was crazy. Genuinely a really good film. Super holds up. Jumanji 1. The new Jumanji's like dog shit because they're just all in the virtual space. But no, I think they missed a trick with that. There's a little bit with the mythology with those like Victorian kids at the start. Watch Jumanji. Anyway, so I'm watching these movies, right? That's a lot of time. Like 5 hours straight. In addition to the previous days, I was trying to get it and I couldn't get the box crab. Like, the way that fishing usually happens in Guild Wars 2 is like if you do a full day-night cycle, all the way through a day and all the way through a night, which is 2 hours of grind, which is a lot, especially for, you know, more modern Zoomer audiences, I would say. 2 hours of grind, a lot of people find that unpalatable. Usually you'll get like 90% of a collection done. But I've done like day in, day out, day night, day night, day night, day night, day night, and not getting this box crab, okay? So eventually I took to Wiki about this. I was like, this is crazy. This shit has to be bugged. And oh, look. People are speculating that it's bugged. And so there's a note on Wiki. To you, dear viewer, I don't know when you're watching this Let's Play, but it'll probably have changed eventually. For launch VOE, there was a note on Wiki saying, hey guys, this is bugged. It says it's anywhere in Castora, but it's not. You cannot get the box crab. By the way, there is no crabbing in Guild Wars 2. It's only fishing, right? I want crab pots like in RuneScape. My like dream MMO project, I have gathering classes, but they're all split in half. So like there's not, so if you're going to be like a water gatherer, you can either be a fisher or a crabber. I did that as a little RuneScapey reference because I like that so much. But I have I have the same as true for like woodcutters and shit like that. You know, you've got hardwoods and softwoods, or you've got like gathering certain kinds of bugs or other kinds of bugs. There's like different trees. Anyway, so I'm getting a crab. The crab, I'm not fishing the crab up. And Kerry was like joking, it's because you need a crab pot. But basically there was this note on Wiki that said, hey, you can't get it. It's bugged in the Shipwreck Strand. It's actually only in the Starlit Weld. So I go to the Starlit Weld and I'm looking for the crab for ages. Day, night, looking for the crab, looking for the crab, looking for the crab. Can't get the fucking thing, okay? So then I go to the Wiki discussion page. And the Wiki discussion page is a little bit different to the note. The Wiki discussion page has a guy saying, wait. No, actually, it's not bugged. You can get it. Sorry, the map hint is not bugged. You can get it on both maps. The bug is actually with the fishing hole thing. It says any fishing hole, but it's only fresh water. It's not salt water. So, when you're fishing on the Shipwreck Strand, you're usually in areas like this, right? You're out in the big open waters because you're not getting attacked. It's much, much calmer and much more zen fishing here, so you get more fish overall, right? But that means you're always in salt water. So that's why people weren't getting the crab, because it only comes from fresh water. And by the way, it's hard fishing here. It's very often the mini-game's hard, even when you've got like the fishing food and shit on. Because they're asking for 650 fishing power. So that's the bug. So I was like, oh, okay, so I guess I can come back to this map. But, you know, it's a box crab. Aren't crabs okay in saltwater? Oh, I guess there's just different species. Are there both saltwater and freshwater crabs? Is that a thing? I always think of crabs as saltwater. But I guess there might be freshwater ones. Anyway, so I came back to this map, and then I'm going on, and I still can't find the fucking thing. Finally, Kerry looks it up on Reddit, and she reads a comment of someone. So whoever this was that posted this, wherever you are out there in the world, all right, someone said, hey, I got the crab. I can prove I got the crab. I got the crab on the Shipwreck Strand in freshwater at that really pretty area with all of the flowers. And Kerry read that out to me. And she hasn't done all the fishing in Guild Wars. And I immediately was cynical. She said, go there and get it. That guy fished out from there. And what did I say to her? Now, anyone who knows Guild Wars and has done fishing, I think will side with me on this, okay? I said to her, I don't know, that's a huge walk. That's a lot. Like, I'm doing it right now on screen. We're going there. It's a really, really, really long way to go. It's a big slowdown. All you really want to do is keep rolling, right? Once you've been grinding long enough, you just want to keep rolling until you fucking get lucky. It's a huge walk to get all the way to this specific glade. And I said to her, there's only one fishing hole there. I don't even know if it is freshwater. And I'm only going to get 3 rolls at that fishing hole. And the crab isn't going to spawn, and then I'm going to go back to what I was doing. So we're going to waste like 10 minutes getting all the way over there. And she was like, don't be lame, go do it. So just try it. And I was like, all right, fine, okay, I'll go. I'll see, just for the fun of it, just to shake it up, right? Because I'm at the end of my rope here. So I came all the way here. I came to this. The freshwater tropical fish, a single fishing hole. And I ate my sushi. Actually, I'd already eaten sushi. And I cast the line. It was day, not night. And I fished. And we waited patiently for a bite. Knowing that that's not how fishing works in Guild Wars. There is no Feebas mechanic. There is no thing where a fish only spawns in one hole. That would be an interesting way. See this, by the way? Look, I'm maxed out on fishing power. And this thing's faster than my bar, so it is hard. And when you're getting attacked in the Starlit world, it's so annoying. So I fish. And I didn't get a crab, obviously. Because you don't get... Because that's not how it works, alright? And I'm only really here to be polite. And I'm only really here to... what's the word? What's the P word? Placate? No. And I fished again. And remember, I've been doing it for like 6 hours, and I didn't get a crab. And I cast my line the third and final time. Hours and hours and hours of looking for crabs. Hundreds of fish. They're like 6 fishing lures. And I fished. And it was a difficult fish. It was wriggling and writhing around. And unfortunately, I didn't get the fish here on stream. But last night I did! I got it! I got the fucking box crab! I got it! I couldn't believe it! I came here and I got the crab. So I'm just going to say, to anyone that is struggling with the crab, maybe try this spot? I don't know. I think I just got crazy. Like, I could not believe it. Look at all the fish I have here, ready? Right? So I put them here. I have 71 bearded sunfish, okay? So remember, every single... You don't get 2 fish at once. You don't get 3 fish at once. You don't get 5 fish at once. You get 1 fish per minigame. You swim into a hole, you're getting the skiff out, you're getting on the skiff, you're casting the line, you're playing the minigame, you're watching the whole animation as the fish comes in. That's 1 fish. You only get to do 2 more, then you got to move on to another spot. Then there's some enemies are attacking you, and you're killing those enemies. 71 sunfish, 3 snooks, 30 great bearded goatfish, a chestnut sea bream, 54 castoran sea bass, 21 peacock bass, a porgy, 13 ruby scaled goatfish, a black carp, 30 rockfish, a fangfish, 70 seaweed cutting scythe tails, 5 pacus, 3 redfin barbs, a twilight striker, an Aurelian herring, 4 vampire squids, 2 shimmering squids, 14 emerald scaled groupers, 50 castoran milkfish, 2 seahorses. Seahorses are rare as fuck, by the way. That's like the last one I got for that generic collection. 9 castoran bicorns, 4 flapjack octopuses, a knife fish, a piranha, 18 sapphire scaled moonfish, 9 bluefin barratuna, a mantis shrimp, an illustrious opa, 20 wolffish, 3 legendary fugu fish, a secret squid, a silver drum, a googly-eyed squid, a sun-scale striker, a bonefish, and a legendary elusive jelly crab. These things that I only have 1 of, it's because there's a single bait, and as soon as I got it, I stopped. That's how many fish I had to fish up to get the box crab. It was brutal. To go back to my first comment, it was easily the hardest fish I have ever had to fish up in any experience in Guild Wars 2. Elusive box crab? I mean, yeah. And then, by the way, I went to go get the legendary, and I got it from the first hole in the Starlit world when I actually swapped to Nightcrawlers. So yeah, that was 10 AP, very painstakingly earned. And that about sums up my gameplay. And we can consume all these fish now and get all that delicious fishy meat. Yeah, and it wasn't very fun. The rates were too low. I'm not the biggest fan of fishing in Guild Wars as it is. I think they made it too active. There's too many timers. Like, people were talking in Spud, like, oh, WP high, or we were talking about decorations or whatever. And it's really annoying to type. Like, it's fucking fishing. It is the passive thing. It is the moment where you should be able to socialize in an MMO. And I couldn't really do it because it's just that little bit too active, you know? And you're under the time pressure to keep the skiff fishing party going as you hop on a skimmer to move from one thing to another. And then you're on the pressure because enemies are attacking you. And then it's just a bit too much with the minigame. I don't know. I'm not. I think I think it needed to be a lot more passive, frankly. But anyway, I got it done, and that's fishing done for another year. I appreciate the feature. I think they made... I don't know, they changed the rates. And this feels brutal, but here we go. I'm going to fucking eat this crab. Ready? Nom nom nom. I don't really eat hard-shelled seafood IRL much. But there you have it. Okay, there's your fishing rant. Yeah, and I had other things, like when a meta came up, I went to go do the metas, which meant I was playing the otter build again, which meant that I was then swapping off, and then I couldn't even fight because I was a fucking otter, so I was just sitting there getting DPS by the random mobs, and then I'd swap, and then the next meta would come up, and I'd swap again, and I'd do it again. God, this build is terrible, by the way. This is truly an awful build. I'm doing no damage. Jesus. This is not a good build. This is a WoodenPotatoes bad build, but like on my series of bad builds, I don't mean that ironically. I mean it for real. Like, look at this. Oh my god. Let's use the elite at least, I guess. We get another hair out of there, don't we? It might be interesting in competitive, just permanently having shocking aura, but still, I don't think it's enough. Right. Okay. So there you go. That's it, by the way. So with the fishing done and the story achievements done and all this stuff done, you know, I got one chest to fish up, and then I'm basically just at the point of, you know, doing the meta every day, hoping for that lucky drop. And just to be clear here as well, with like hearts, I've got all the hearts done now, except 2 days at the Untamed Crags because I was so late with that, right? So all the fancy dialogue is now triggering. Like, Kanaka is really nice to me. Let's see here at the end of the road if we can hear some. This lady's really nice. Let's put the dialogue back on.
Wish my folks could have met you. Barely showed up here, yet one of Hullgarden's own. They'd say, can't thank you enough.
Oh, isn't that lovely? As I listen to this dialogue, it's a bit weird for me, by the way. I don't know what happened. Last night, I was in bed, watching some QI, enjoying myself. I had my headphones on. They were fine. I went to sleep. I woke up. I turned on the PC. And today, do you remember I talked all about how I fixed the cups for my... So a few years ago, I had a Sennheiser brand deal. And I loved it. And it was so cool. And I would love to do another one. But again, without face cam, I don't really know what they get out of it. But I've been using some Sennheiser, what is it? HD 598 SE, right? Those are my headphones, and they're really good. Super expensive, but I got them for free. And this was maybe like 8 years ago now. It was a long time ago. Anyway, the stuffing in the cups was going bad, and I fixed that up. And you know, bought some replacement ones on Amazon, and it was really they're just like new. Really, really happy. Except now, I've put them on today, and no audio is coming out of the right cup. I can't hear any game audio out of the right cup anymore. I would use my regular speakers, but it might echo back into the microphone, so I'm not doing that. But they're busted. As of today, I don't know what that is. I just turned... What? But I'm looking, and it's the wire. The wire, where the wire goes into the headphones, is a little bit frayed. So I wonder if I pulled the wire somehow last night. I don't know how, though. They were fine. Anyway, when the dog chewed through my Ethernet cable... One of you guys said you should learn how to crimp a wire. Do you think I can do that with a headphone wire? Is that something that I could learn to do? I just buy one tool and I can cut the wire, can I? And like crimp it and actually connect it properly? I think that would be quite a cool skill to learn. And I really like these headphones, and I just fixed them in terms of like the padding and, you know, all of that. So it seems a bit sad that just because the connector where the wire goes in is a little bit iffy. So I might just try that. I don't know if it's cheap to buy the tool online. Maybe I could, but the connector is a bit weird. It's not like how the Ethernet connector was. But maybe I can learn how to do that as well. I don't know. But one of you guys in chat did suggest that was the thing, and maybe I could do that. You know, like I'm not handy enough, so fuck it. Maybe I'll learn.
Time and again, working under pressure truly brings out the best in you, Commander. The locals even prefer your concoctions over Pax's. That'll remain our little secret. Wouldn't want to upset.
So there you go. We got oh, the meta's going on. It's a good thing my dialogue was muted, because we would have heard that. Let's Let's use our super fast skimmer thing here. Another thing I never mentioned about the skimmer and why it feels so good, right, is like quite often when you're on a skimmer, like I'm moving fast right now because it's water, or in POF you've got like quicksand or whatever, right? You move fast. But there's always moments like this, right, where suddenly you're on land for a second and you slow down. And then you speed up! And then you slow down. You know, another nice, really cool value of this too is it covers all those gaps, right? You slipstream boosts, and now it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that there's a little bit of sand there, because I've got the max, as far as I can feel, I've got the max speed anyway. And that's so nice, and that's so comfy on this map. Do you know what? If they released another map that was effectively just like this again, I would be happy with it. I really would. And a really deep underwater map as well that's just huge, but it doesn't have to have that much content. I'm just enjoying the novelty of sprinting around on the skimmer. It's pretty cool, you know? Like, I was at Amnitas yesterday. You know what? I think I'm a bit hard on Secrets of the Obscure. Amnitas is fucking cool in a lot of ways, you know? Like just this idea, all right? I know it's very easy. The common criticism of this is, oh, it's too samey, the architecture's too samey. But do you know what? This is quite cool. Like, it went just to come back here. Like, because I was looking for water, right? Just being able to fly. The core idea, look at this fucking map. The core idea of this expansion, a beautiful, massive, floating fortress city that you navigate through the sky on your dragon. Like a dragon flying, like, cathedral type expansion. Like, this is cool. I've completely fucked that up there. I've ended up in the observatory when all I wanted to do was fly in the sky. I don't know how I fucked that up so badly. Let's try that again. Like, I don't know. Sometimes you just got to get a bit of distance from a product to just, like, inhale it fully and truly. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, what the fuck? I'm stuck again. Like, there's some absolutely incredible vistas in this expansion. The fact that they made all this thinking, oh, this is for flying around with your dragon. You know, it's not bad. Amnitas, my gut reaction is always a bit like, But, you know, the lore was really excellent here as well. And it is a very distinct map. You know, it's not like Skywatch. It's not fully reused shit.
More portals?
More of our portals? I don't know what they're doing at the Bastion of the Obscure.
So I don't know. I've had my fun at the moment. I do think this mini X-Pack's been alright, you know, and it's sort of invigorated me with some of the other ones. Let's go listen to this dialogue over at this heart. I'm going to tour each one, guys, before we get into the main meat of today's episode. And I, by the way, want to look at the live chat a bit more here. Let's see here. Grab the Ura tank build is pretty dope in the open world. Yeah, I imagine, because it's nice and tanky and meaty and still does ridiculous damage. High QOL. I can definitely imagine that. I think the mobility is a bit low for me for an open world build. We do have mounts, but I don't know.
I summon the winds.
Oh, she interrupted
You're
us.
amazing at this, Commander.
All right, there you go. I'm amazing. That's what she had to say. There was definitely more, but we missed it. I missed a couple of super chats, did I? Oh, I'm really sorry about that. Hold on one second, guys.
Well, you've done it again, Wayfinder. Like always. We fought together a lot, you know, and you're something to behold out there. But maybe it's what you do here that's made you a legend. I don't know. It's just a thought.
I like that line, and I take that wholly in, you know, just in an innocent way. But I know that there'll be some grumpy nerds saying,
No, hearts are horrible. And here Arenanet is trying to convince me that the real gameplay is in the hearts.
but no, I'm fine with that. I like that line. Sorry, yes, so French Magpie came with another €5, so that's €15 total. Thank you, French Magpie. Who says, haha, the answer was worth every penny. Well, I'm really glad you feel that way. Thank you very much. And then we had someone else, £10 from Maj DNG, who says, WP, your Reforged video inspired me to go back to Prophecies, and it has finally clicked for me in Maguma. I now feel so disappointed by Gyodos's buildcraft and difficulty. You were right all along. Thank you for that. That's always fun to hear. I'm glad it clicked for you. I am. I had a very weird experience playing it with Kerry, right? Where I was trying to get her into the buildcraft, but I also kind of... Look, I think Guild Wars 1 is not as good as... this is too big of a topic. It's too complex. What's the key point? What's the cliff note? Guild Wars 1 has a problem in that it's 8-man parties, right? Even at a 6-man party scale, it's too many. So you don't really feel your individual impact too much. And that kind of sucks, right? So in an attempt, when I was playing it with Kerry, in an attempt for her to feel a bit of her impact, I was helping. She was playing a Fire Ellie, or an Ellie, just in general. And I was trying to get her into, like, the different builds, but she only really wanted to play the ones, I think, where she would have a bit of impact. So, like, we ended up getting, like, certain skills. And the way that they pace the skills in Prophecies kind of sucks, right? Like, so you can get the vast bulk of most of your big damage and big flashy and cool-looking abilities really early. Like, you'll have Firestorm, and you can get Meteor, and you get a lot of the big skills, and the really good skills, and the meaningful skills, very, very, very early on in that game. And actually, the build craft, like, from an actual, like, if you're treating the game a bit like an ARPG or whatever, it falls off really hard. Because it's like, you keep hitting new regions, and you keep hitting new outposts, and there's new skills to buy, but invariably, they're very fringe in their usage. It's like, well, that doesn't actually really give you any more damage, or that glyph doesn't really give you any utility, or that doesn't give you, you know, you're not going to be hit with this condition, you're not getting hit with this hedge. So actually, Guild Wars 1's not that good. Honestly, it's not that good. But, like, the core idea is good. And it's like what I really believe in it is a Guild Wars 1 that is solo. Like, the Guild Wars 1... I remember when they moved to Guild Wars 2, this is why I'm saying this is unspooling and it's going to become way too big of a conversation. But they recognize... Like, I honestly think Guild Wars 1 is at its peak for buildcraft really early. Pre-searing, especially, is excellent. Like, mostly solo calibrated, solo made. And where the skill pool is very clearly set up and stuff. It's really, really, really good. And then the more players that start filtering into your party, and the more it's about henchmen and heroes and stuff, it loses a lot. And then it comes alive again for a little bit once you hit end game, so to speak, and you net deck some meta shit off of the internet. And then it falls off again after that, you know. So I actually think that Guild Wars 1 like waxes and wanes with its enjoyability with its buildcraft, and there's a lot more waning than waxing. Unless you're a very different style of RPG player, like you really get into it. You're very MTG about it. You're very D&D about it, and you really take that upon yourself. I think Mike is if you remember my collab videos I did with Mike, he did a recent thing about Oblivion, by the way, which I very much recommend you guys watch. He's that kind of player, and he can do that. But I think that players like that are few and far between, and increasingly so with younger generations. That's honestly how I feel. So I think Guild Wars, like one solution I've always thought for Guild Wars is I really believe in skill tiers, because with skill tiers you can have your cake and eat it too. You can continue to get new and fun skills at later outposts without it just becoming increasingly fringe or weird or hyper specific stuff. And these are problems Utopia would have ran into, and more campaigns would have ran into, and Reforged might run into. I don't know. How I don't know what the fuck they're going to do. Probably not much. So anyway, but yeah, I'm glad to hear that you're enjoying it and it's clicked especially in the Maguma jungle. That's awesome. Okay. Right. Sorry. Let's go to this heart, and then I'll look more at live chat, and then we'll do the stuffs. I'm so chatty at the moment.
Check out this one. It seems to be a kind of arcade.
No, we heard that already, and this guy's not speaking.
Out different kinds of magic.
And then the hunter's camp. Let's see what this guy says. I've not actually finished this. This one isn't even finished. This is like the penultimate. See, it's frustrating that you don't get to hear them, or it's not guaranteed proc by walking close. It's very frustrating. Let's step away and come back.
You are an ally to us and the wildlife alike, my friend. There are still threats to this place, of course, but we are making more progress than ever. With a little luck, perhaps we'll drive the inquest out of this place for good. Eventually.
Yeah, see, I know there's certain elements to this heart I still haven't even done, like escorting the animals into the pen. Yeah, so there's some, like, I have the stuff for some of these things. I can buy the mini augmented Swiftwing. It's 50 raw enchanting stone, and it's only 5 gold, so let's do that. Let's get that mini at least. Add to account wardrobe. The shocked emote is too expensive for me. The Castor and Choya is too expensive. It's funny, on day one of the guys I'm raiding with was here in game on like episode 1 of the LP. He'd already bought this, which was crazy to me. That was like day 1. There's all the spears as well, by the way. Of which I've still got a bunch to buy. There's also a back piece I want to show you guys that I want to grab. So let's go back to the first map here. This generic vendor. See, so here's a thing that they missed out on. Elite Specs. I was talking about this about 2 months ago. And not for a second have I brought it up again. But have you guys noticed, and sorry, this is a bit of a Debbie moment. Did you notice they didn't do Elite? Like, if I go to End of Dragons, look at this here. There's a specialization section. Adept, Blade Sworn, Catalyst, all of these, right? VOE brought Elite Specs back, but there is not Elite Specialization stuff. There is not an Elite Specialization helmet. There's not Elite Specialization shoulders. There's not Elite Specialization weapons. They skipped out on all of that. So that's a real shame to me, but I do find it curious, right? They skipped out on all of it, but if you look at this vendor here, he sells you all of the spears, right? The different spears. Each is 1,000 unusual coins for these expensive ones, by the way, which is pretty hefty. But look at this. There is randomly is spear, spear. But this first thing on the list, this is a back piece. It's a harp back piece. So I'm going to buy this. The chromatic double harp. Now, to me, guys, that screams Troubadour. And I'm wondering if there was an attempt to do an Elite Specialization collection or piece of gear. Look at this big naked Norn here near us. Jesus Christ, look at this guy. He's in the breezy stuff as well. My lord. My lord, my lord, my lord. Oh, I'm getting a bit hot here looking at this. Let's cover him up with this. So basically, I'm wondering if they did this for the Troubadour and then they didn't really have enough for all the others, so this just ended up here on this vendor list for some reason. So, like, maybe they tried... I don't know. What's your guys' take on that? An even crazier take, an even more conspiratorial idea, is that Troubadour was actually going to have this as a weapon. That you were going to have the harp as a weapon, and then, but there were no weapons that were ever a part of these Elite specs, so I'm not really on board with that. But next year, guys, next year, weapons again, but they do new ones. Scythes, great whips, net guns. Main hand foci as well is an idea, you know, offhand scepters, shit like that. What do you guys think? Exciting? Yeah or nay? Harpoon gun on land because it's a Lagos expansion next year. God, they've really got to come out with confirmation of a third one. I want to believe, I really do. All that shit I just said about Guild Wars 2 not getting, you know, underfunded or whatever. It would be fucking brutal for the new management, the new team, the new idea with mini X-Packs to only be able to push out a couple and then have it to U-turn. They know more than anyone else that it was the U-turning and the lack of stability and trust that really messed with Guild Wars. So where's confirmation? I would love the last episode of the LP here to have confirmation for you all that there's going to be another one next year, but they just haven't done it. So there you go. So that's the hearts. That's a bit... By the way, I'm loving this back piece. It's so cool. I'm so happy we got it. Kerry said I actually got quite lucky triggering the unlock for the collection. So, yeah. All right, looking back to chat. Let's see. I'm just going to quickly scroll through here. Listen, guys, if I missed a message, just repost it. All you want in Guild Wars 1 is a level 1 scale and ear stand, so you have a Q3 gold shark tooth shield. Very selfish. Yeah, and then you get feedback like that, you know. Go ask 2 weeks for that, right? The most hyper-specific. Worst case, you can get them from PvP reward chest. Oh! You can get the Restless Captain and the Extremis armors from PvP and WoW as well. Oh, I'm so doing that. I'm so doing that. Yeah, I'll get the chest piece from there. Hell yeah! And that's an excuse to play a bit of WoW as well, this X-Pack cycle. Last year we had the relic of, you know, the Bloodstone or whatever. Scrolling down, scrolling down. How does one tiny Asura hold 71 sunfish? Yeah, sunfish are huge, aren't they? Aren't they massive? Headphone cords are so shit. They break constantly, and all of the replacements on Amazon are even worse. Like, I don't even really know. So, I don't know whether I can disconnect this cable at the headset end. Like, it sort of looks like I can, but I pull on it really hard, and it's on the, like, the hard plastic shell, not the actual wire. But I pull on the hard plastic shell that appears to be inserted, and it doesn't really want to come out. And I don't know whether that's just got jammed over the years or what. So I'm going to have to Google that as well. I don't know. Maybe there's some new fun things going on with headphones. I mentioned to you guys that I got a new phone. I got a Pixel phone. Okay. I am basically quite unhappy with it at the moment. It's so buggy. I've had so many bugs with like location services and logging in and out of certain accounts and at-a-glance features. This is a new phone, completely freshly set up, not like dumped in with a bunch of old baggage. And like the new Android operating system is like not working that well. And it's like, what the fuck? Like that's so bad. I mean, it's petty stuff, don't get me wrong. And I think I've got it fixed for now. I had to turn on like a precise locations or something. But anyway, what got me talking about that? I don't know. Two-handed axes would be cool. Yeah, like great axes. They could do size like they did spears and port over all the size staff skins. Exactly. Yeah, Venny's got a very good point there. I think for a while I was a bit of a naysayer about the idea of real staves once they started doing staves as staves. But fuck all that. Ignore that. Ignore that guy. Just port them over. Yeah. The spear mini games for weapons are so fun to play. Spears are excellent. Spears were really good. Last year's spears were, like, I think better than this year's Elite Specs. I'm deadly serious about that. I really think that they were. I think there's a lot of dodgy stuff in this year's Elite Specs, but they're super powerful at the moment, so people will look over it. Which is fine, I guess, you know. Ignotus Echo says, do you think Guild Wars 3 will inherit Arenanet problems like scrappy team, lacking content updates, frequent priority shifts, and so on? That's a fantastic question. A really, really, really good question. I think no. I think no. Because I think Guild Wars 2 was made at the worst time possible. I think if Guild Wars 2 came out in 2014 or 15, it could work very well on modern hardware and they could keep doing really big shit with it, right? And I also think if it came out in 2014 or 15, those extra couple of years would have allowed Arenanet to get out of this like 90s, 2000s development mindset where there's an assumption you must always be moving on, right? Like gaming through the 90s, it was relentlessly, oh, you got to make a new box. You got to sell a new box. Make a sequel, make a sequel, make a sequel, make a remake. But, you know, go back, do a reboot, go again, go again, go again. And that was like the bit, and it was, I think, even devs and consumers alike, it wasn't fully becoming obvious. It wasn't truly manifesting what the idea of like a live service game was. You know, even that term, live service games, like long form games that retain a single audience and fund themselves in perpetuity. Those weren't like that idea didn't even have a name. And you know, you had a couple of weird examples of old MMOs, but there was a sense that MMOs are always dying, that MMOs are always backsliding. Old school RuneScape wasn't a thing. WoW Classic wasn't a thing. And even long form established games, like you look at like Blizzard, they hadn't abandoned like their Titan project at that point, right? So at the point where Guild Wars 1 was being pushed aside to do big ambitious stuff for Guild Wars 2, you know, they had the technical reasons, they had the art reasons, right? They were artists. They wanted a newer engine to do fancier dynamic events and do this and do this. So there were a lot of boundaries to push in the genre. So as artists, they wanted to do it. But it was always on this backdrop of like, okay, there's sort of an expectation you move on from a game. And that's because they started moving on in 2009, ultimately to release in 2012. If they had if Utopia had come out and maybe a campaign after that and maybe even one after that, and they'd managed to do those well, and it would have been hard to do them well, but if they had managed to do that, I think they would have gone into Guild Wars 2 with a very different mindset, like a permanent kind of mindset. So where did Guild Wars 2 start struggling? Where did they start chopping and changing? Well, the Season 1 experiment. But we know that they were like working on like sci-fi and shit, like even around Heart of Thorns. We know that because concept art came out at the time. Season 3 as well was a huge... Sorry, Season 4 was a huge blunder. Like, just this constant sense, oh, we've got to just move on. Not putting your... Like, here's the story. Let's just be real. They earned a lot of money and a lot of goodwill, and they had a huge fucking player base. And instead of investing it entirely into Guild Wars 2, or majority into Guild Wars 2, they had like fucking 5 or 6 different projects going on, right? They split it. They didn't take that money and give it back to the Guild Wars 2 community. They took that money to fund other ideas, right? That's what they did, and that was the blunder. And what drove that blunder was like a perception that that's just how game studios do it. That you have to work on new things. You don't just support your one MMO. It will run out. Time will run out. It will shrink. And so... And that was what their view was. I don't think that would be their view anymore. I think we've had another 10 years now where people have realized, oh, that was wrong. That wasn't right. We could have gone all in on Guild Wars 2 all the time, and we could have been the WoW killer that we were destined to be, right? We could have, you know, Season 1 didn't have to be the scope there was. Like, and so just look at the scope of the original Halloween release. Look at the scope of the original Fractals release in terms of like the big fancy trailer that came out with it and all those islands. Look at the scope of the original Winter's Day release. You know, Halloween had like 4 acts worth of content and fuck tons of stuff. Winter's Day had fuck tons of stuff. All of a sudden we get into Season 1 and they've scaled back massively. Why? Because they're reinvesting that talent. They're reinvesting those devs. They're reinvesting that workforce into something else behind the scenes. So we're 10 years forwards. And I believe that there's a Guild Wars 3. I believe that there's a Project Tyria. I believe they're looking at something else because of the technical debt and the spaghetti code and that slight desync with modern hardware, right? And I think it is called for now, all these years later. There are big wins. There are also like dead-end philosophies that Arenanet have come up with over the years, like bad design, like the fundamentals of the mastery system, the excessive nature of the mounts, the amount of skins that we have. There's a lot of shit that has led to dead ends with Guild Wars 3. So I do believe a Guild Wars 3 is called for now. But do I believe when they push that out, they would just start U-turning and they would invest the resources elsewhere and they would make the... I don't think they would do that anymore. I think that... I think kids coming out of university that are studying game design, they're a bit more savvy. You know, the industry's moved on. People understand the consumers more. They understand how sticky those consumers are. You know, and they understand how to cherish what they've got and how to support what they've got. I mean, fuck, that's why they've gone back and put money into Guild Wars 1, into Reforged. I think they are more enlightened now. And,
I heard those Inquest fellas pay loads for
and I think they would stick with it. So, no. So, do I think Guild Wars 3 would fall into the same traps? No, I don't. And you got to think about, like, how Moore's Law has changed as well. People don't believe in Moore's Law anymore. It doesn't double every X period, right? You know, I could go back to my PlayStation 3 and I could play like... Well, did Uncharted 4 come out on PS3? Like, there are some fucking gorgeous... Like we're not... Games don't date as fast anymore as they used to. They just don't. Right? Anything amazing that they managed to push out for a Guild Wars 3 is not going to look dated in 2024. It's not going to look dated in 2050. The only exception to this is stereoscopic gaming. Whether that be VR or 3D monitors coming back. But, you know, some of that stuff might be tack-onable. And I know what you're thinking, WP, you're drinking the Kool-Aid there. I'm fucking not. I'm telling you. I'm telling you now. Over the 20, 30-year time scale, we'll all be here. Keep yourselves healthy, everyone. All right? Do some light exercise. Go on some walks. Eat healthy. Come on, be healthy. I want you here for the next 20 years. What will I do? I don't appeal to the Zoomers. I got to keep my viewer base healthy. Yeah, but so do I think they'd fall into that mistake? No. Sorry, guys. This is ridiculous. We've got to play the game. Let's go to the homestead because I do actually have an actual Q&A section to do as well here. So there you go. Anyway, that was a donation question, wasn't it? So hopefully you got your money's worth there. WP, did you know about the fall damage animation glitch with spears? I don't know if they fixed it. You trigger the fall animation after jumping from a certain height with a spear unsheathed. And then does it spam the spear visual? I've seen people doing it in-game. I've seen it. But I've never actually triggered it myself. They only confirmed they were working on Visions of Eternity in December last year, so they still have time. Is that true? That's not true, Big White Shogun. That's not true. We knew there was going to be a mini X-Pack 3 when Janthia Wilds launched. Right? Am I crazy? I don't have a source to hand, so I guess I shouldn't be that confident. But I feel like we knew there was going to be... We didn't know the name. Right? There was no... But we knew it was a product. P.S. You can also get the Choya Tonic from the Choya Race. You don't have to buy it. It's just a low drop chance. Ah! Maybe I'll keep doing that then. There we go, guys. There's only like 5 comments here. To be honest, there hasn't been much traffic on the previous part. Maybe because I'm recording quite quickly. I don't know. So what's it? Oh! Oh, this is about Oblivion. Look at how sassy these nerds are, guys. So obviously there's that drama about that guy Arthramore, who's basically a dick. And, like, was really aggressive about other mods and did all kinds of crazy stuff. And the whole community hates him or whatever. So there's this guy on Reddit who worked on the remastered unofficial patch, but got uploaded on Arthmore's account. So everyone's hating on Arthmore, and this guy was in the comments saying, no, it's my work. I'm the dev. It's his name, but nobody's mean to me, so nobody credits me, nobody nothing. 2 million people downloaded this, but nobody even knows my name. And so it was just a weird comment chain where they start... Look how aggressive and angry these nerds are with each other. Well, you're spending a lot of effort trying to get me to crash out. That's helping my ego. Did you know I worked on Better Cities 2? And this guy says, I don't know what the Better Cities mods are. Which I find highly suspect, by the way. They're very popular. I'm not sure if work is the right word, though. What a dick! You know, these people are putting their free time in on these huge projects, right? But it's not real work. And he says, I did the interior and exterior cell design. I did mesh work. This was the first mod I worked on. I did some minor mesh work here, too. What have you worked on? And this guy says, I didn't click your link. Sorry. Me? I work on real projects in exchange for money. Holy shit. I was like reading this, eating my popcorn. These fucking nerds, man. Oh my god. Sorry. I was talking about that in the Oblivion Remastered channel over in the Spud Club Discord. Join me there. Fucking crazy how sassy and angry they all are. It's just insane. I worked so long and so hard on my various mod projects with Solaris. I mean, really hard. And I learned a lot, you know, about organizing large projects, all right? And learning the tool set and just so much. And the thought that someone would say, that's not real. I do it in exchange for money. Oh, God. All right, here we go. Okay, so one last time, guys. One last round. I got a couple of comments here. Zuhang, who wants to clarify something about the patch. Actually, the 3 crypts in the Basilica is meant to be the 3 seers who sacrificed themselves to create Ancora. Yeah, I got a bit confused by that because the book says these guys sacrificed in the rite. But how are they doing the rite if they don't have the artifact yet? So it was just a bit of a weird phrasing, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so in so the explanation here is in the last story collection, The Doorstep of Divinity, the collection item Weathered Stone Tablet has this flavor text. The archaic and enigmatic writing appears to be a hagiography of 3 powerful spellbinders who sacrificed themselves for Ancora, now at rest in catacombs beneath the Lost Basilica. So, but what is the Lost Basilica? Is it that place on the top left? Because that's still not actually confirmation, unless it is the Lost Basilica. And the newly added text in the story instance says they have fallen that we might ascend. Which again hints, and it definitely does, that these seers were the seers who created Ancora. I guess the line lost in the rite of Divitium Nava, fall on the doorstep of divinity, just means that these 3 never got to ascend themselves. They were lost in the process of the creation of the ascension rite. So there you go, which is lovely. So there you have it. Little misinterpretation from me there. We got Idekax here, who had a little thing about the skimmer, by the way. I was restraining myself not to mention a second ago when I was talking about the boost over sand and water. On the skimmer speed, I suspect this is a very obscure fact that a lot of people don't know, but you actually get more speed out of the slipstream boost if you trigger it underwater. What I mean by that is dive, use the 2, and then resurface. Your speed will be higher than normal for the entire duration. Very expertly explained there, by the way. Additionally, the skimmer's turn ratio is heavily reduced during a slipstream boost, but when the skimmer is at the limit of its turn, around 30 degrees or so, it also gets faster. Which, by the way, makes it feel very clunky to control. Combining these two techniques achieves a much higher speed than normal. That's kind of like that weird drifting thing on the Beetle, right? There's kind of a way of perpetually drifting that you go ultra fast or something. Combining the two techniques achieves a much higher speed, and then there's the skill 1, which adds even more speed by spamming it. Combining both techniques and using skill 1 at the same time gets you a speed of 1395 units per second, which isn't that far from the Beetle's 1800 max speed. So yeah, just think about that, guys. It's a high quality, I mean, if you're doing the drift thing, but even still, it's fast. I can see why they nerfed it, because it is really, really, really fast. I don't remember them nerfing the Sky Scale. I don't remember them nerfing the Warclaw after their reworks, the past 2 mini X packs. But this time, they've nerfed it, and maybe for a real good reason. All right. Here we got Goddamn Leary, who says, I do hope that they clarify that there could be more than 2 dragon cycles in Tyrion's existence. We don't have to know how many other civs existed prior to the ancient races, just that there potentially were some that got completely wiped out by the Elder Dragons. Yeah, I just want to be very clear. As far as I know, End of Dragons does not explicitly say there were only 2 rises. It just acts like there were. It just acts like the only thing that, you know, if I was world building, if I was putting my text in the game or whatever, I'd be, and I was doing End of Dragons, I would have had lots of little nods to the idea of the rising before the Seers and the rising before that. You know, just tiny little details. I wouldn't have got, you know, I'm not asking novels to be written about or anything, but just, I would have nodded about it. I would have played with the idea of his existence. I would have alluded to it, especially in any Suwon conversation. I would have given people like little breadcrumbs like that, because I just feel like, you know, it's a part of the setting and it makes it feel grand and big and stuff. And so End of Dragons doesn't necessarily, as far as I know, it doesn't discredit the idea of a 3rd previous or a 4th previous or a 5th previous or even more. It just never talks about it, and that's what makes me sad. It's like Arenanet hadn't even considered it or something, and that makes... So again, I'm really nervous with my commentary sometimes, because I feel like I say things, and then someone will say, oh, WP believes that End of Dragons discredited it, but it doesn't. No, I don't believe that. I just think they could have done more to hinder the others. And by the way, guys, I just want to say as well, I think that's why I labour the point a lot nowadays. I like go on and on and on, and it's not very effective communication. I get it, right? It's just, I think 15 years on the internet has given me like a psychosis about it. Where like, if you don't explain something fucking perfectly, like say the same thing 3 different times in 3 different ways, some dickhead out there won't get it, and they're gonna like argue about it, but they don't realize that like we were agreeing the whole time, or like they'll put words in your mouth, like, and it's so fucking frustrating. So you have to say it in every way. Like I could say it once and 999 people get it, but that 1000th fucking guy, he's gonna drop the comment, and that's what I see. And so it just over time it has tended to me being more and slower and more, because you just lose confidence that you know how to communicate. That's what I feel like this is like making videos. Anyway, so there you go. So now I'm a long-winded motherfucker. Sorry, everybody. All right, we got Broken here as well. We was just talking a little bit about alliances. It's not really related to VOE, but I thought this was a cool comment. I wanted to read it out. Gonna chime in concerning what became, because I was talking about the GMs and, you know, our struggles with getting together with and what really happened. So Broken was a part of this. Says I'm going to chime in concerning what became of the enthusiasm for alliances. On the broader scale, it really didn't help that Arenanet kept alliances on the back burner for another year and a half or so. In fairness, they did say work on that would only start once the UI for tournaments would receive the necessary update to reflect the switch to a Swiss-style system. But that hasn't arrived to this day. I think it's safe to assume that the competitive system team got at least temporarily dissolved with the end of Dragon's Shift. Anyway, big delay is gonna result in little hype. And then there's the more immediate issue of there simply being no push towards grouping up within Spud for any of the betas or the release system. The implementation lacks bells and whistles, and the cancellation of the guild alliances is a bummer, but other than that, it's working quite successfully. There are several loud complaints still, but I've yet to see any that can not be traced back to Arenanet's long-lasting neglect of the mode as a whole. Speaking of neglect, I always like to remind people that alliances or world restructuring first got presented in conjunction with the original linking system back in 2016, which was only ever meant as a temporary band-aid to the plummeting world versus world population of the time, rather than the 2019 Icebreed Saga announcement, as many players seem to believe. And that's me too. I said in that video that it was announced with the Icebreed Saga, but you're right, it had been talked about before then, hadn't it? Yeah, again, it is neglect for the mode as a whole. Like, I really think these mini-X packs... Like, I liked the idea that 1 year a mini-X pack could give a little something for PvP. And they kind of did with some of the tournament stuff, with Secrets of the Obscure, right? And then the next can do World vs. World, and then a bit for PvP, and then World vs. World. You know, a new map. Here, especially World vs. World. Come on, the third Borderlands. And one of the things I just want to use this as a great example of is we've talked in a roundabout way about how constant, relentless internet feedback affects game development and can overly sanitize the experiences that we have and can kill the art and can kill bravery, right? And can kind of crush meaningful experiences. And the people, these artists at these studios need that thick skin, or they need to insulate themselves from this sort of stuff so that they can create profound experiences. And I've openly said of myself, I couldn't do it. I'm way too sensitive. I have way too fragile of an ego. If I made something, I couldn't watch a WoodenPotatoes type character sit there and fucking Debbie down and nitpick it for 16 episodes of an LP. I could not do it. In fact, so like I don't blame any devs that can't do it or whatever. But so we've talked about this a few times, and we've talked about like Arenanet like listening too hard sometimes, you know, throwing the baby out with the bathwater. I think World vs. World's neglect is the greatest example of that. Why don't they support World vs. World more? Why haven't there been more maps coming to World vs. World? I'll tell you why. Because the community throws a fucking fit about everything. The community threw a fucking fit about Edge of the Mist. The community threw a fucking fit about the Desert Borderlands. So now you don't get shit. And it's like, to me, that's a great example of like, actually there was a lot of really cool things. Like, you might have missed the mark slightly. You know, Desert Borderlands might be too big, might have been this, that, or the other thing. You know, there might be too many pits. Maybe the breaking of the bridges wasn't too fun. Maybe the fort design wasn't too fun in Edge of the Mist. Shit like that, right? But that negative feedback, from where I'm sitting, appears to have just tanked it completely. And like, that's so sad to me, you know? Like I remember data mining. You remember when I did all my data mining series? You can go check it out on my channel. I have the videos still up, where we saw like all the old PvP experiments they had. And they had huge amounts of World vs. World maps and World vs. World experiments and shit like the Fortune's Veil. They had loads of big ideas. Ideas that got far enough they started getting voice acting and stuff. And all that shit just got thrown in the bin. And like, why is that stuff getting thrown in the bin? It's fear. It's terror that if you don't do it perfectly, you're not going to do it at all. It's a fear I recognize myself. But you got to push past that in a lot of ways. And I think that World vs. World is definitely one of those places where it's like, that's a shame. I don't think that was happening to games in the early 2000s, before social media became what it was, before this like constant relentless feedback became what it is. I don't think it was out. It certainly wasn't happening in the 90s. People tried shit, you know. So yeah, it's an interesting side of all of this, and it's something that I'm a circle I'm always trying to square, given the nature of the content I make and the media I make. You know, this is literally my bread and butter, is discussing and praising or putting down every fucking little thing. But I think it leads to this inactivity. I mean, unless I'm wrong, is there another reason? But I think the risk, because basically what I think it is Arenanet have sort of seen, oh, the risk isn't worth it, we're just going to lose more players. They would rather have a slow decline across the whole format for the next 10 years than try something big that causes a spike down, you know, like they saw at the end of the first World vs. World tournament. Maybe? I don't know. But yeah, so there you go. A bit of a discussion there. It's kind of VOE related, because World vs. World didn't get anything for VOE. Like, I would fucking love to... Come on, this vibe, this aesthetic in a World vs. World map. Skimmer content, Skimmer combat. You know, and it's because there's going to be some fucking Debbie saying, no, I don't want any Skimmer combat. The Warclaw is bad enough. Like, I don't know. You miss EOTM? It was your first World vs. World experience? I'm a big believer in rotating maps, right? I think for 1 week or for 1 day of the matchup, EBG should be EOTM. And then it goes back to EBG for the rest of the week. 1 day out of the 7 days a week, it can be EOTM. I mean, what are these picky naysayers going to say? Oh, it's not a perfect map. Okay, so it's just for 1 day of a week. At least use it, right? I don't know. I guess there's an argument that they do use it. But it's always fucking dead in there, isn't it? I mean, I haven't been to EOTM for ages. Every time I went to EOTM, it's all the objectives are always grey because no one's there. Like, literally no one's there. Not a single player flips a single fucking thing. Well, these have been flipped, it seems. That's still grey. The supply depot is still grey. No one's been there. Like, these maps are dead. If I go to map chat and I type hello, do I get the no one hears you message? Or is that only in Guild Wars 1? I don't know. But anyway, my point isn't about EOTM specifically, or whether they've under or overutilized that specifically, or whether the criticisms were warranted, or asked for, or even valid. It's that fear of continuing to experiment. And you know what? Why is Guild Wars 2 what it is originally? Why is Arenanet so successful? Why did anyone give a shit about Guild Wars 2? It was because they were experimenting. It was because they were big and they were brave, and they said, we're going to do big shit with MMOs. And that's what put them on the map. And I would hate to see them be too scared, you know? And I do see that fear there. I see that lack of confidence. And it kind of kills what made this game. And it's very important when we start thinking about Project Tyria, isn't it? Back in the ancient times of 2014, I would level my ults in EOTM. Good times. Ancient times of 2014. Oh, God. Alright, well, okay. Shall we play the game? There you go, everybody. Another excessively long community section. 1 hour, 20 minutes. So, we got two things. I kind of want to do the Shadowstone thing first. So, we're going to go to Castor and Culture. And we're going to go Magical Journey. Take the mysterious artifact to various locations and events. So, I need to talk to Hibernus Myth Seeker. Now, who the fuck is that? I think he's on the second map. I think I've seen the icon. Is he? He's over here, isn't he? I think there's a questing icon for me. Yeah, it's on the map here. Is this the guy? Yeah. Okay, wow. Oh, he's a cool looking char design too. Hello, Commander. Good. Here's the artifact in question if you're ready to begin. Oh, I guess there was a bit of preamble to this that I don't really remember. Might as well get started.
Commander. I've got a favor to ask of you. This seer artifact I found seems to pull magic out of its surroundings, making it corporeal. Problem is, I don't have the faintest idea how or why. It must have had some purpose, though. Could you take it with you on your travels? Maybe the collected magic will give me some kind of clue.
Okay, a magical journey. Chewy says, and now all MMOs are converging. Yeah, like, and I think Arenanet are the ones to break that mold. Again, just before this VOE series, I was talking about their opening blog posts, and I kind of want to cover them. I might do it. I might do it. You might see it. And I kind of want to see them do that. Be the experimenters again. Be the inventors. Do a weird format. Change it up. Because I think what Arenanet also understand now, another thing that we've learned over these 10 years and is very clear, is if you're very experimental, when you make a very different product, that allows it to sit on alongside your existing library, your existing franchise, your existing offerings. You can sell people Guild Wars 1, and you can sell different people, or even the same, people Guild Wars 2, and you can hit another audience with Guild Wars 3 if they are very different products, right? You don't need to redo the Guild Wars 2 shit again, just slightly prettier. You don't. I mean, there are merits to it. Fresh reset, blah, 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 long-term thinking from the start, blah, 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 blah. So, but still, like, they can be experimental with it, and not, you know, like, I remember as well, another big release that I was following before it got shit-canned was EverQuest Next. Do you guys remember EverQuest Next? It was going really big on, like, you know, Minecraft-style generated worlds, but like on the fly dynamic events basically that were actually dynamic, truly in the very heart of hearts. They were dynamic, and like all the terrain and everything, and they kind of moved on from it in the end. You know, there are these other topics about how like the survival crafting genre has kind of stolen away from what MMOs were and what made them fun, and I can see that. Right, take the mysterious artifact with you to various locations. Magic from a trapped room, an essence of a seer spirit, fragments of seer relics, magic from an ancient flower, remnants of a seer weapon, an orb of skimmer collected magic, residue from a subdued Gwildel. Right, I do warn you all. If this requires excessively long waiting around for events, we might not be able to finish this. But that's why I'm starting nice and early today, because I have plenty of time to do all of this and chill and relax and decompress before I go to record with Boots. Okay, so magic from a trapped room. Oh, we want to go do this quest over here. Do you know what? I don't remember. Do I actually have that achievement for getting 10 in a row in there? I don't think I do. Agreed. Guild Wars 1 was full of experiments. Guild Wars 2 had promises of maintaining and expanding those experiments, so many of their experiments copied elsewhere. They released some kind of demo. When you played, you could edit the world for EverQuest Next, but it disappeared. Yeah, I remember. It did get in the hands of the community for a little while. Yeah, you know, even Guild Wars... okay, what I think the way to sum them up, right? No, you're right. You're just right. Guild Wars 1 was also very experimental. Guild Wars 1 also said, okay, here are some things that we don't like about MMOs, and we're going to change them. Right? And they said, so that the low-level cap of level 20. And some of those experiments they went back on in Guild Wars 2, because we have a high-level cap. Okay, so what is this? I just interact with this mirror? Okay, no, I have to do the event. I have to do the event survive the trap room. This looks like it's bugged, actually, doesn't it? Doesn't that look bugged to you guys? It appears to me like he's stalled, and this should be doing something, but it's not doing something. I don't know if you talked about it yet, but did you do the hero challenge specific to Rev in this expansion? Oh, no. Which one was the Rev one? Oh, did I? No, is that a Raza thing? Oh my god, my instinct just took me to the raid LFG. Oh, I kind of want to join that. Wing 1 to 4, looking for a DPS. Oh, so good. Easy LI, easy money. It's so joinable. Because I haven't done my clear yet this week. Right. What we're going to do is go Visions of Eternity, Starlit Weld, Meta, Join, and now we're in a new instance.
Insight.
Ha 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 ha! Woohoo! Okay, we need to play a better build. Sorry. QOL Cat. Let's do this one. Yeah, you see I've got Lightning Flash and Mist Form. These are here because I was... kind of hate these utilities. Not good open wide utilities. Because that was to run away from Seb's missiles and stuff. I still do feel, by the way, that I wish Seb was in this X-Pack a bit more. A part of my experience was a little bit worse because, see in here, I've got fresh air and one with air. Nah, you... I think my experience was a little bit iffy because I didn't do the meta until last, and Seb is obviously in the meta a bit more. Oh shit, which one have I got? The Relic of Knowledge. Over here. Like, if I had done the meta before the end, I would have spent some more time with Seb, kind of. But you don't really spend time with him. He has that great line where he says, this changes nothing. You've knocked over nothing more than a test tube, and then leaves. Like, that's really good. Balance over here. The Revenant one is the second map above the meta area, the Shadowstone fragment. Oh. You wonder if that has something to do with why Ritlock is in this X-Pack. Well, look, we're in the middle of this quest here right now, so swapping is going to be kind of annoying. Why don't you tell us what happens there? And if it sounds amazing, I'll try and get on screen. But, well, I'm kind of on a time limit here, and I don't want to speculatively go wandering around. So what is it? What is the story? Sorry, my God. Sorry, I'm running back and forth like a yo-yo because I'm reading chat. There you go, balance is done. Oh yeah, you can see the cat UI in action, but because before you get caught playing cat yourself. Yeah, it's so good. This cat UI is amazing.
Don't seem pleased with our efforts.
Okay, that's that one done then. Okay, so we're looking for a celestial rune now. There you go. Put that one in the middle. A couple more celestial runes. The reward tracking system doesn't even work in Edge of the Mist? Oh, does it not?
Starting to come together now.
Really? So you can't progress reward tracks in EOTM?
You don't stand a chance.
They don't seem pleased with our efforts.
But that comment about they're all converging, it is funny because, wow, is it in the most recent expansion? They have a mount that is effectively the sky scale, don't they? Like, I'm sure they basically just have the sky scale. Oh, and I wanted to note that as well. There was a bit of my commentary I regretted in the last part. I was asked, what was I asked? I don't know. We were talking about, like, whether Arenanet have great engineers, basically. And I said I don't know, because we haven't seen anything for a while. There's one major fucking caveat to that, alright? And that is that they did some fucking awesome mounts in this game. And that's pretty recent, right? Like, all the mount work that they've done always has been very good. To me, that's you know, great technical talent and all of that. That's on the same level as, like, the amazing combat system innovations and whatever. I mean, you could equally say in the modern era, the world versus world restructuring stuff took for ages and blah, 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 blah. So, I don't know. But I do want to point out, actually, they have done impressive stuff.
Seems to lead south to some kind of storehouse. An exceptionally well hidden.
All right, no bug, please.
I'd love to explore it myself, but I'll leave that to you for now.
It's the sky scale plus Griffin combined, you think? Okay. All mounts have Griffin flying. And last expansion, they tried implementing the Beetle, but it was clunky as fuck. It felt like bumper cars. You think infrastructurally they're godlike engineers, at least historically, but you're right, we don't know recently.
Oh, come on.
Alright, let's try and do this here, by the way.
Traps? And here of all places? Oh, that
One.
ain't right. Them trying
So I'm
to
going to
do
wait
like
for it to
this.
flip.
I don't approve, quite frankly. But don't you worry.
Okay,
I'm
now it's
trying my
blue.
best
Go,
to help
go,
you
go,
get
go.
out of there. You have my word.
Blue. Well, I'm not getting ding, 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 ding every time, so I guess I do have that achievement for doing X in a row. Or they retired it.
Stand your ground.
Ooh.
Endurance deficiency.
Right now we're into purple. I don't have to do anything special during this.
Rage at maximum.
These were some great little events in here. Go back to yellow here. Talking about reinvesting in other games and stuff, by the way, I do believe in, like, your studio discovers a format or a genre or a style, right? So, like, Guild Wars with, you know, the microservices for the server architecture, the action combat, you know, the philosophies about gear grind, even though I personally disagree with them these days. You know, the business model. You take all of those things and you can just port them to another game, right? If they had got their sci-fi game out, then I think it would have been brilliant. Let's see if there's dialogue.
You solved it. Tell you what.
The orbs split into 6. Gather them all. Oh, wow. This is quite interesting. 1, 2. Like, imagine just a sci-fi game, right? But all of its philosophies and engine infrastructure and stuff like that is all just like Guild Wars. It's Guild Wars feeling combat. It's Guild Wars 2 feeling combat. Guild Wars 2 feeling buildcraft. Guild Wars 2 feeling open world exploration. Guild Wars 2 business model. Guild Wars 2, you know, cash shop. But it's you know, a very different vibe. It's NASA punk. It's spaceships. It's this. It's that. It's the other thing. I do believe in that, right? Because you would capture a different audience just because it's a very different vibe. Isn't that basically how Hoyoverse does their various games? Is that right? Like, and I believe Arenanet could have succeeded at that. So, like, I don't... it's not like I think they're mad for under-resourcing Guild Wars in those prior years. What I think is mad is that those projects never came out. Those projects never got over the finish line. Like, what the fuck, Arenanet? Like, really? Like, seriously, you have it figured out. You have it proven, right? You've already made the game. You made Guild Wars 2. Right, for want of a better phrase here, reskin that shit, right? New story, new starting point, new character, create a new whatever, you know, but it's in a new setting. But it's you've already figured it out. You've solved this stuff. And you can make your tweaks here and there. Like, that is not... There's nothing wrong with that philosophy. The fact that they wanted to run their studio that way, there's nothing wrong with that. But why did none of these things come out? What happened? You know, that's the scoop. That's the story that I would really want. Now, let's see. Do we need to do more in here? Like these follow-up events? Sorry, I'm on Wiki. We need to do the escort where you follow the seer ghost. Guys, every single one of these steps is waiting on an event. Every single one of them. And then in the back half, it's Corteria. I'm also nervous about on the wiki, it's got a thing there that says one of them is bugged. Stuck after stuck after hitting a gear or something.
I see an opportunity for exciting.
There's the Norn that's escorting a seer in this area. He says, "Hey, Commander, help me deal with this ghost." I don't know where he is. I think this is going to have to be an off-screen one, guys. It doesn't really look like there's any lore here anyway. This one's going to have to be off-screen, and I'm going to have to do it on my own. And look, when we come back for the next patch, I'll just talk about the relic, I guess. I'll show off the Bloodstone mini. So yeah, this is a side quest that won't be a part of the LP. This is just like with Janthir Wilds and Secrets of the Obscure. They're just not... they're not... Like, we will be sitting here for 4 or 5 hours. Alright, it's too long. It's not going to fit into the episode. But that doesn't mean we're going to end. We're going to go do the Aqua Breather, which is a real story and doesn't have so many stalling things. So let's go do that. Collections, legendary armor, acquiring. Now, how do we say this? Agalius? Agalius? Don't know how we say it. So we needed to talk to a castaway captain, quote unquote, in Pub Canuck. And now we've got to bring him a drink. We looked for some treasure using our skimmer's Aether location. There's a lot of steps here. Okay. So let's go bring a drink to this captain. See what we got. Acquiring. Do you know what? I always spell the word acquiring wrong because I missed the C. It's ACQ. What a fucking sneaky little C that is, right? Gross. Okay, bring a drink to the captain. So use the mixology station. Create any drink.
Time and again, working under pressure truly brings out the best in you, Commander. But locals even prefer your concoctions over Pax's. That'll remain our little secret. Showing off, Commander. I insist that you take a break before Pax and Dax feel threatened. But these Castorans are pent up.
Okay, so I'm gonna get some peated whiskey.
Strange magical islands you'd be stressed to.
Dharma, we are stranded on a deadly magical island.
Pretty please?
Right. I need a drink.
Can I just say, these two are amazing. I fucking love these two. The conversations they have together. Like, I've done this event a lot of times to finish the heart, and these two just, like, chat idly. And just the delivery's so good. They're so on the ball with this. Right, honey. I haven't made a drink since the early part of the LP, brother.
I hear those Astral Ward are working on connecting some waypoints to the mainland.
It's over. Hard to say. Love the sights, the tropical air. Partner's probably worried sick, though.
You softy. Kurt'll be fine.
Everyone's okay with
I don't know. How about you? Think you'll stay?
If Canuck compensates me well, I don't see the harm in a little sabbatical from my prior commitments in Radasum.
Sounds like a story I'd like to hear.
On our next break, it's a whole thing.
I will need to do Master Diver. Oh, I've done Master Diver loads of times before. Do I have to repeat it again? Is that the thing? And I do have a bunch of key fragments, I think. Because I just let them build up instead of deleting them. No, those are Aether key pieces. Are they up here? Yeah, I've got 63 of them. Anyway, let's make this thing. Okay, honey. Honey, honey, honey. Honey, dude. Wait, that's not how it goes. Sugar. Do, 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 do. Ah, honey, honey. There you go. Right, mixing cup. Let's get some creme. Cream. And then we get the birch wood up at the top. I love that ring of metal there actually has collision, because I just don't expect it to. There we go. We have made a drink. Take it to a thirsty patron to receive credit. So there's some captain. He's like this guy, Captain Raymond Lakes. Ahoy! 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 What are you? Here's your drink. Thanks. Thanks. Now, why are you still? Oh right. So this mask. It turns you into a fish.
Yep,
wait. Oh yeah, it does. Oh shit, yeah. The Aqua Breather's really good. I think they've done very well with the legendaries this year. Both the Ancora variants are cool and the Unsheath effects are cool and stuff. Because Kerry's got it, so I've been playing with her and it looks fancy as fuck. And the fact it's a double legendary. And this, the Aqua Breather was awesome. It gave you the fins and stuff. Now I can see the disbelief in your eyes. But I tell no lies. Heh, that rhymed. I'm a poet and didn't. Turns you into a fish, you say? A fish! Well, mostly. Certainly made you swim really good. But this captain, he was greedy, feared mutiny. Don't know why, but he did. So he hid the mask. And the parts needed to make it all around. All around? What now? hit them all over the place. Then we mutinied. Haha. Not sure why I'm laughing. It didn't really work, and we got cast off here, and well, things ended up. Anyway, that's me tale. Sorry, I guess I should be reading him drunk, but there you go. But what about the mask? What if I wanted to try and find it? Find the mask? I suppose you could. But why would you wanna do what you like? Don't know where all the parts are hidden, but I have heard tell of a diver who might. Go on, can you give me a name or something? Name? Yes, yes! I think they were named after this here island, actually. Or it was named after them, or... Anyway, it's... Where are we again? I think I got it covered. Thank you, Captain. Oh, that was a good amount of dialogue there. I quite like that. Okay, so we're looking for someone named Castora. Oh, wow. Crazy. I see on Wiki where to go, but... Okay, I'm going to unpin that one. So I don't accidentally keep clicking it. Find the diver. Hold on, though. How am I supposed to know... What the fuck? There's raptors attacking at this restaurant. Excuse me.
Armor enhanced.
This is inappropriate. Right. I don't know how I was supposed to know this. But back in the crab at Lion's Arch, there's someone called Astora. I think we remarked on that on like episode 1, didn't we? That there was someone called Astora and we were going to Castora. So if they're a Central Tyrian type character, I can't imagine that they're actually truly named after the place. They're over here, maybe? No, they're on some kind of a rock. They're on a rock looking out at the crab. Near the crab. Ah, look, we have a Spud Guildie there. Oh my god. Is there someone that's going to be leading us around? Because that's going to be so good. Is Broken leading us around? Holy shit. He's in the Doom Throne. Very nice. Dive Master Astora. Yeah, what the hell? I hear you want to learn how to find sunken treasure. Actually, I'm here for something else. A famous aqua breather. Oh, a famous aqua breather, you say? I've heard tell of an aqua breather that turns you into a fish, sort of? Ha! You've been swapping old pirate stories, I see. Well, I don't know all the specifics, but I do know that a famous pirate by the name of Waydon's Revenge was known to collect valuable and powerful items. Any idea what might have happened to him or the aqua breather? I can't say for sure, but I once heard that he had a hidden stash here right in Lion's Arch. Maybe start there? Cool! We do Waydon's Revenge jumping puzzle! Oh, this is so cool! And it's called the Sharkmoor Caverns. Oh. I remember when the very first, like, open public beta happened. I knew about this jumping puzzle, but they had blocked it off. But you could get in anyway using, like, the experimental rifles by, like, making this jump here. And that looks like such a small jump now, doesn't it? But if you could make that jump, you could get over and you could get in through the back. Because what they had done is they'd blocked these rocks. And I remember agonizing over whether I could or should make a video about that. Because it's such a cool jumping puzzle. And it was like a scoop, you know, to be someone that could show off that jumping puzzle early on. I remember that crystal clear as anything. Like it will just transports me immediately. Like Guild Wars 2 may as well just be coming out again. And here we are. Should we put the Blish pathing on? Let's see what the recommended route is. To slide down here. Oh, the idea is to like slide down and not actually get hurt. This is an epic idea, you know, if you're gonna have a shark-based aqua breather. It's such a good jumping puzzle. This is one of the highest quality things you can do in Guild Wars, even to this day. This will lead me right through the labyrinth. Hello, Telmoji. It's good to see you. Yeah, we're starting super early today. And again, can I just give my heartfelt congratulations, thanks to anyone who made it here in the live chat, to those of you who have been keeping me company throughout the series, who have been supporting this. Thank you, everyone. So should we just... let's actually play it.
If you want to escape and arm your fingers and toes.
It's so fun, isn't it? It's so sad this voice actor's dead now, isn't he? But I get nostalgic from his voice.
This ain't right. This ain't the way at all. So remember this dead end. For soon he may be dead. And at your end.
I hope you guys can hear it well enough. Again, I'm like wearing my headphones half on, half off at the moment. What do you mean you can make the slide without dying at least twice? I usually just go for it and I slide down and then you land in the water. But I have had it where you hit like a stalagmite or stalagmites go up and tights come down. Why? Because we always like to take the ladies' tights down.
12 paces north. Because I've been married 12 times. Wait, does this count? I don't know about that. She was a little on the flimsy side.
The problem with that template is I don't have the cool inquesty backpack. But yeah, sometimes you hit a stalagmite.
Because Chompy nearly ate me when I first tamed him. Are you laughing?
Back in the days, you'd shroud the damage. Did shroud protect you from full damage? Was that a thing? I remember using like snowfall runes, and obviously everyone had a trait for a while.
Oh, look, it's me first mate, Shane. Say hi, Shane. Don't mind it.
Remains of Shane.
We go left here because old Shane had 6 toes on his left foot. Or was it 6 fingers on his right hand?
This is so cute, you know, and whimsical. I'm talking about the 6 toes and everything.
Must have been 6 left toes on me first mate. That means we go this way.
Oh, straight through the wall. Wow. And then this one.
You're still with me, eh? Not bad, Buttercup. Perhaps we are worthy of sharing and be spoiled. But not be wrong.
But not be rum. Oh, that's awesome. So it's his aqua breather? That's a great little tie-in, isn't it? It would eat some part of it so the next bump wouldn't kill you? I see, yeah. Yeah, I've had times where I die on that ramp. I've never had a consistent way down. I guess that's what the marker pack was trying to show, a consistent way, you know? And this was a fun bit, actually figuring out where to go and stuff.
Survive this path. He must follow the directions exactly. Now, slowly in forward.
I always find these streams funny, you know, like once upon a time, a whole YouTube video, a whole production would be just this JP. But nowadays you get the whole thing just as like a tiny part of a stream.
I'll stay strong.
You told me to hug the left wall. This falls when you...
Bet you didn't see that one coming, eh? Tread carefully in this chamber. Lest you be gruesome. Right through.
Sorry, I don't know what he was saying. I don't know when he's going to start speaking to me. Ow. Ow. Okay, I'll stop breaking stuns and trying to force my way through it.
Now, wait, where are you? Oh, I see. You're through.
That's a cool wisp effect, by the way. I like the shader on that. Look at that. That's where we came in, guys. All the way down there. The frames are so good here as well. Over damage in Shroud never used to not carry over to your normal HP. That's crazy. I had no memory of that.
Survival is subject you in.
There.
He's up there. This is the parting. It makes this way easier. You can just do it in the dark. But we'll wait. Basically, you wait for the room to flash, right? You wait for it to light. Oh no, are you just supposed to get the torch? I usually just do it during the flashing. Actually, do you know what?
That's cheating.
All years of Guild Wars 2, he told me I'm cheating by picking this up. I don't remember any other instance in the entire game of this flashing mechanic. Where they have like it's a little feeble, let's be real, but an attempt to do like a dynamic lighting thing. Where else in the game have they ever had a flashing light thing where it's dark? Like, nowhere even in the Super Adventure Box where they play with lighting is this a thing. Right? This is the only place. It's amazing how easy all these jumps are, honestly. Compared to the struggle.
Come to the final test. Dead man's drop. Before I trust ye to share me plunder, ye will have to trust me. 2 of these holes lead to instant death, and one will bring ye to me treasure. But how will ye choose? Just remember where ye are, and that will be your answer.
You've come to me final test, Dead Man's Drop. Before I trust you to share me plunder, you have to trust me. 2 of these holes lead to instant death, and 1 will bring you to my treasure. But how will you choose? Just remember where you are, and that will be your answer. So I think the clue here is we're in the Sharkmoor Caverns. Even though he doesn't say it, it's really just a UI thing. So we want to go in the shark's mouth instead of the... I don't know. I think that's what they're getting at on this.
Spark to flame.
Ah. Of course, nowadays, if you hit the wrong one, you just revive orb. Or wait for someone to res you, you know.
You may have found the treasure, but you'll never escape this chamber to spend it. Hope you brought a deck of cards. Starvation takes a while.
And I think it actually ports you back up if you put it wrong. Oh, really? Oh, no, you might be right. I don't remember. Maybe that's a QOL thing that came in. Yeah, this is a weird bit as well. He talks about you being stuck, but obviously you can waypoint out. But even if we don't think about the how canon that is, there's just a door out. I remember when the karma vendor at the back of this place was like the only way to get certain items, I think. Tattered note. So this is new. Most of the mask pieces I can still get to, but I'll have to figure out some way to that blasted island. Hopefully no one has found where I stashed all the parts of the mask. I'll start out to find the pieces nearby after I feed Chompy. So it really was his mask. Got to make sure not to slip again. Last time was too close of a call. He's a good boy, but he'd still eat me given the chance. Anyway, I better write this down so I don't forget. One piece is stashed in an old sunken chest in the mists. The mists! That's right, not even the mists can hold me. Another one is on that island in Bloodtide Coast. Those gulls better not have been laughing at me. Though, otherwise, when I go back, I'll be leaving with a nice new feather cloak. Haha! One piece I'll have to steal back from that dog, Wiley. Upstart thinks he's a treasure hunter. I'll show him a real pirate soon. I hid another piece near the wrecks of all those poor suckers who just didn't cut it as pirates, and I had to live a sad life of privateering. Those carcass sure are quick, but not quite quick enough to get me. Another piece I left near the souls of long-dead sailors and ore. I wonder what it feels like to be a ghost. Well, you'll find out one day. And finally, before I set off, I threw a piece off in the top of the lighthouse here in Lion's Arch for good luck. Not that I ever needed luck. What kind of captain would I be if I did? The other 3 pieces should be safe and secure on the island waiting for me. I doubt anyone will get past all those traps or find that grotto where I left them. And the final piece, well, I doubt anyone has figured out how to uncover those chests. And if they have, I'll kill him! Ha ha! Yar me hearties! Har me booty and plunder! La, la, la. Okay, so I guess I'll do the lighthouse first. That's a lot of objectives.
You weren't me type anyway. Not like me, Connie. Well, she won't exactly me type either. Not like me, Kirsten. Now that one can cook. But then she goes sharing her biscuits all around town while I was at sea. There was me Heather. Oh, sweet Heather. Thrown overboard in the storm. Help me, help. Please help me.
This guy was amazing. Oh, I don't know his name. It's great though, isn't it? He lives on. He truly lives on. Yeah, there you go. This the cultural guy.
Hello.
And he just speaks like a normal dude. But these pirate things were like, that was a lot of karma back in the day, guys. Or maybe it wasn't actually. Maybe he was discounted. Anyway, it was here that the achievement dinged, if I remember rightly. I remember climbing around on that waterfall a lot for some reason. Right, okay, so find the sunken treasure in Siren's Reef or underwater. So we'll do that. Oh, or underwater. Which one has the easier chest to get to? Those are the crate chests, I guess, and that's what the key's for. Defeat Tider. Oh, defeat Tider! No! I don't want to have to defeat Tider. No! I don't even see why. Where's the world boss timer for Tider? Did I? Hold on. The core Tyrion... Oh, it's not up because she's not nearly up. She's not due to spawn anytime soon. Ah, so we can't finish this either? Find the mask and... I'll do everything I can, and then we'll see if Tider's coming up when we're done with it, okay? Find the piece of the mask in the base of Wiley's Buccaneers. Find the mask in Castora. Find the piece of the mask in Lion's Arch. Now, look, if he just threw it off of the lighthouse, we don't have to climb the lighthouse. We just look in the water near it. Stop hiding, chat. Oh, here. Sorry. Okay, Aquatic Fractal is easier and faster. Tider is in an hour. Okay, so maybe Tider's doable, actually. Okay, first let's just go underwater here. I'll check where our friend is. I doubt it's all the way down at the Breachmaker, right? That would be a bit nuts. In here?
Spark to flame.
No. Let's go right over to the lighthouse. Oh, there you go. It's done it. Aha! Nice little telegraph there as well. There's a chest we were never able to open before, guys. Okay, so good. We got the one from the bottom of the lighthouse. Defeat Tiver, the Booter's Path, the Mask in Wily Buccaneers. You guys are welcome to play with us, by the way. We've got 3 people. So let's go do the Aquatic Ruins Fractal. I'm going to do it on scale 1 so you can play on any builds. No pressure, no judgment. I would even quick play it, but we can't control the island if we do that. So Aquatic Ruins, the earliest Aquatic is scale 7. The Dead Man's Drop is also the same shape as the cave entrance where you enter. Yeah, that's a way to think about it too. Now this chest spawns after you kill the jellyfish. I don't know where the chest is in that other one. Oh god, yeah, I got a bit of a weird build underwater right now. In fact, hold on. No, I'm gonna play this one so that I give AoE quickness better.
There's the power. An ancient mountain.
Yep, you guys are welcome to join. Anyone and everyone? We have another party slot.
Rage at heart of a volcano.
Did we miss a cage or something? Because the dot is up there. Yeah, we did. Here we go. Oh, you got it for me. Okay, excellent. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm on EA at the moment. I'm on European America. So sorry if you're in Europe, or sorry if you're in NA. I can only play with EA people right now. Or North Europe people. EA Sports. Indeed. I love that we're actually dolphins in the pie menu up there. So good. See, this is interesting. I'm following the marker pack here, this line, which I've never done before. This is not how I usually do this. Is this the safest route? It's quite interesting. Need to evade there. Oh, come on. I was pressing it. That's an evade, isn't it? The two? Oh my god, my dolphin sounded so sad there. Did you hear that? Is this cozy? Yeah. Sorry.
Never felt better. Armor enhanced.
Oh shit, there was a lot to AoE over there. Oh, stealth. Object permanence. Oh. Oh yeah. That guy's got the bubble aqua breather on. I have it as well. Why is this not? Oh, right. I'm actually a big fan of the bubble aqua breather. Oh, and it's because we're in an outfit. That's also why it's not showing up. What the hell is going on? Oh yeah, this way. It's going to be weird getting rid of it. You know, a lot of legendaries, a lot of things I do in this game, it's just because there's nothing else to do, right? And I'm enjoying myself and whatever. But I'm telling you, I genuinely, for its own reasons, want this legendary. I didn't feel that with almost any of the Aurene things. I didn't really feel that with Clobyarn. I only felt that a little bit with Orax. Mostly it's just because it's something to do. But I really want this. I actually want it. Which is good. What was going on with Secrets of the Obscure legendaries? Oh, Obsidian Armor, and I still don't have Obsidian Armor, so yeah. Singularity. The Jellyfish Beast. Oh, this is so cool. Look at Venny's Refect thing. I'm underwater as a catalyst here. And I can easily monitor what buttons are actually giving me. Like there, I just charged a little bit more empowerment. Or just empowerment. Because I comboed with the Water 5. Because it was a leap. How cool is that? Like, I don't usually think about the fact that Water 5 is a goddamn leap. But it's a leap, so I got stronger from using it. Because I've got that handy bar there on my UI. And again, I know you can look at the buff, but who does that? Especially underwater. So cool.
Accelerating.
I'm going to use the elite, because there's more combo finishes there. Look, the cleansing bolts are fully charging me. Look at how good that is. And yeah, I do still have it glowing. I think I like the glow. I like the glow. Because realistically, I'm never going to run that Grandmaster trait. There's not a single build I would ever run that runs that trait. I know some players might, but... See, and look, now we're now losing some, so I get some back there. Oh, that was pretty bad, actually. I dumped my water quickness field. Huanzhong or whatever. I dumped far away. Oh my god, I don't remember there being this many elites to kill. Two players are still dolphins. How is it that we still have two dolphins with us? Oh, we're not. We don't even have the whole team here killing the final boss. There's people still just slowly swimming over. That's amazing. I would have thought they'd get teleported to the end.
1,000 storms.
Well, there you go. Okay, and then before we leave, remember to actually open the chest. It spawns fairly nondescriptly over here. There you go.
Time to depart.
Time to depart. There you go. So this is the one that he talked about being in the mists. I must be honest, I wasn't really sure what that meant.
Target identified.
But it must be this one, the fractal one. Find the piece in the Booter's Path in Castora. So that's the new mini dungeon. So we can go do that. Well, no, let's do the piece of the mask hidden in ore. It's always in that left chest, I see. So what's the one hidden in ore, I wonder? I'm going to have a little scroll down on the wiki. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm just going to control F for the word ore. We don't get much of a clue for this. Okay, how comes we're not readying up to leave? There we go. They really changed that boss fight since you last played it? Oh my god, wow. It must have been a while since you did Fractals. Because that's quite an old rework now. And that's coming from me. Yeah, it's over here. The wiki map does say it's over here. But I wonder what the clue is to be here. How's the expansion? It's very good. This is the best mini X-Pack. I still wouldn't put it on Path of Fire level. To me, POF is the best. Heart of Thorns, for what it was when it came out, and the start of the Mastery system and all that, Heart of Thorns was second. End of Dragons is third. Then it's this. Then it's Janthir Wilds. Then it's Secrets of the Obscure. And then it's the Icebreed Saga. Well, Icebreed Saga is very difficult to judge. Because the first half was so good. But ultimately it was short, and the majority of what was there I didn't like. I didn't really like any of the Charles Civil War stuff in either of the patches. In Drizzlewood. And what they did to Smolder and stuff. And I definitely didn't like Champions. So, the prologue. Isn't it sad that you get that huge meaty quote-unquote prologue that ends up being a huge proportion of the entire Icebreed Saga? Isn't that just devastating? Imagine if we lived in a world where that was only a tenth of the full story. And it had stayed that tone the whole way, and so on, so on, so on. Epic. Anyway, okay, so that's that one. What else we got? Defeat Tyder, the Booter's Path. These are all complete previous steps, so we won't worry about that yet. Find the piece of the mask in South Sun. Now that's Corteria. We could look into that. If we'd done it in a slightly different order, we actually would have saved a bit of waypoint money. So yeah, anyway, that's my take on all the expansions. And that is me being cognizant of recency bias with regard to this one. But I think it's fairly indisputable, actually, that this one is the best mini X-Pack so far. Would anyone disagree with that? And if so, what's your argument? I'd be interested to hear that. Because from what I can see, this has elite specs, which is a big deal, right? And it's not a small feature. Yes, they're not fully featured because they don't have the collections, but it's pretty good. This has some really good legendaries in it, and multiple that are there at launch. This has a good story. It's still too short, but a good story. No dodgy lore moments, no dodgy characterizations. You know, just a lot of fun, really good handling of the world building. Like the actual story handling, I think with this one was really good. I think the environments are fun. I think the maps feel really fresh and like new and good looking with like the waves and stuff with the waters. I think the map exploration's been really good. I think all the side collections and achievements have been really good. The masteries are basically a dud, but that's true for all three. I mean, the mount rework, though, isn't bad. I'll say that. But this is just a really solid mini X-Pack, I think. It's kind of difficult for me to say, oh, so skip the other two, because this story directly comes out of the previous two. Well, why I will say this, to anyone listening to me right now who hasn't been playing Guild Wars for a while and is wondering if they should get into it, trust me, you've got a good amount of content to play now. If you go through Secrets of the Obscure, Janthir Wilds, and this all together, if you treat that like one major release, and in terms of price, you can think of it that way, right? I think you've got a good amount to play of modern content, and Guild Wars has done you right, I think. If you're the kind of person that's just loathed it ever since Season 1, and the loss of the epic fantasy and all that kind of stuff, then no, this isn't going to improve that for you. But, you know, we have Guild Wars Reforged for that, right? That's a whole new game, right? That's an epic big new remake. Right? Okay, yeah, let's go then. Well, hold on, let me see what Wily's Buccaneers are. Is that another thing on the new map? Oh, no, that's in Gandaren. Ooh. Brigantine Isles. It's those guys up here. Wow. That's also very interesting. It's in this cave over here. Man, the Norn and the Char were done so dirty. Icebreed Saga had so much that was like you got even Jarvi as a character, right? Jarvi, Jorah's daughter. Like, holy shit, Jorah, and yeah, let's talk about her. And everything going on with the Vigil and Almora. There's such a rich background of things. And again, the tone, all that shit with Bangar, so good. The Bone Skinner and the Coden cannibalism and the creepy haunted forest and everything. Oh my god, they're really good. They started so strong, and I just don't know what the fuck happened when we got to Drizzlewood. Yes, COVID hit, but I mean, surely things were in the pipeline already. And it was just, yeah, let's just throw a Char Civil War in there that we absolutely cannot do justice to the scale of and the scope of. Like, that deserved to be its own fully featured expansion. That should not have been shoehorned into the Icebreed Saga. Not on any level. Like, you can do the setup for it. You can have Bangar as a character. You can do the bubbling tensions. You can have them being interested in getting a dragon for themselves and stuff. But descending into a full-blown civil war and all that... No. And then the fact they couldn't even support it for much longer after that anyway. Or literally they couldn't. There was the big U-turn to End of Dragons. Oh, I don't want to... We've talked about it many times before. What more is there to say? Note, hide it from the rest. Not sure it was worth the risk. Hard sneaking past all those damn Vigil. Not to mention those basilisks. Almost bit me head off. So actually, I know where they're talking about. They're talking about the Vigil Keep, and there's a basilisk in a cave below the keep. Right? So is it there? Is it in the cave? I'm looking at Wiki now. It fucking is! That's so cool. Let me see without Wiki if I can get in there. Bravo to Arenanet for picking some cool, fun, weird little spots. I might have to relog. Oh, really? Is this bug a bit like that other thing we were doing where we had to relog sometimes? It's like you drop halfway down or something and there's a cave. It's only accessible. My whole perspective is really weird right now and very off because the sky scale has changed the whole experience. Huh, maybe I'm looking in the wrong spot. My instinct was that I'd struggle to find it. That's not the cave, right? That one there. That's because it's not raised up or on a cliff or anything. That's just the way through. There's like a hidden cave. Ah, here we go. Ah! Yeah, this is a sneaky little place here. Wow. I'll tell you what. It's been a long time since I've been in here.
There's the power. Combined rage at maximum.
Sorry, Basilisk. We get this chest. Oh. Cancel cast that a bit early. Part of their issue is a new map for new story method doesn't work for Civil War. Is that true? I feel like it can work. There's nothing fundamentally wrong with Drizzlewood. It was just too much too quick. You can't do the whole... Like, I really do mean it. I feel like a whole expansion, as in, like, a launch... Like, a Path of Sapphire scoped thing, right? With a Living World season on the back of it, all on a Civil War. You know, where there's a whole big arc where we go off to explore the Blood Legion homelands and we find the Citadel and we're dealing with that. And there's a whole arc where we're dealing with the Ash Legion. Like how in Nightfall, you know, there's a whole big thing going to Vabbie and dealing with the politics of those guys and what's going on, right? That's what I want. I want a huge, meaty, long period of time dealing with the Ash Legion and their interactions with the Civil War and what they did to cultivate it, or what they're doing to undermine it, or what they're doing to try and end it early or whatever. You know, I want to really dive into it. I don't want to just wander around suddenly with the fucking Tribune. I want to deal with the smaller guys in the chain. I want, you know... And I want it to be an expansion with mechanical elements to it, where I can make a new character that starts and is born up there, you know, in one of these other regions. I want the consequences of the Iron Legion and the Foe Fire and the fallout of that to come into it. I want to talk about the Ghost Boar technology that they dealt with. I want to deal with the Char, you know? I don't want 2 fucking living world patches split across a single map that's like a glorified meta trying to emulate world versus world. No! And even that we can't look at for very long, because we're moving on to the Ice Legion, which is a cool idea, you know, like, but fuck. Like, that should have been it. I don't want to see Smodor suddenly act like a completely different character and get shot in the head. There's just no time, you know, and there's no appreciation for how to scale back. Do you know what I do think, though, guys? Visions of Eternity scaled back. Visions of Eternity was almost perfectly scoped. I mean, am I wrong? That's why Visions of Eternity is so strong, you know? And Launch JW was perfectly scoped. They went off the rails with the Foundry stuff at the end, but was pretty good. And Secrets of the Obscure was pretty well scoped, but they went off the rails with Knives. It's just going too big. And I think that so far, they really seem to have learned that lesson with VOE. We'll see what the post-patches do. Okay, so we've done that and that. So we need to find a piece of a mask in Castora and the Booter's Path. The Booter's Path at least is obvious where it is, so I guess we'll go do the Booter's Path. Let's go get some booty. You hard agree both of those storylines should have been 2 expansions by themselves. IBS was literally the perfect time to put the Separatist Renegade shit to the rest. Yeah, oh god, and he had all the Ajax stuff.
I heard those Inquest fellas pay low.
It's difficult though, right? Like I do want to defend Arenanet a little bit here, because maybe the plan wasn't to do it all. It's hard because like these things take a long time to develop, so you never know how much was in the can. Like, when did the U-turn happen? That's the question, right? The end of Dragon's U-turn. And yes, there's a huge conversation about whether that was justified, right? But just when did it happen? Because maybe when they first concepted Drizzlewoods, they were anticipating having loads of time, and they were anticipating not rushing it, you know? It was going to be smaller. But the U-turn sort of happened in the middle of Drizzlewoods, so... Like, the way that the story happens is your first actual glimpse of Jormag... Am I going the right way? We've got to get underground, don't we? I think. Your first actual glimpse of Jormag is at the end of Drizzlewood 2. And then there was a big drought, quote unquote. And then Champions got spread out over 9 months. Where we did... And then fucking Prime Orders got thrown in and all of that shit, right? So it just goes from... What's the reverse of saying from strength to strength? From weakness to weakness. It went from somewhat rushed to even more rushed to extremely rushed, right? Like, just relentlessly so. But, you know, maybe that wasn't the original idea, you know? Maybe... I mean, what was it exactly? Was it just, oh shit, build templates aren't able to fund this? We cannot keep the lights on like this. We have to go to a... But even then, right? Even then... I would have advocated for just stopping the stories where they are and finishing them in a boxed expansion. Just put a fucking blog post out that says, look, guys, this isn't working. We hear you loud and clear. You want expansions, and look, at the end of the day, we need to sell them. So the Icebrood Saga is we're going to continue with the story, but we're slowing down where it is or whatever. You're going to finish this in a boxed expansion. And finish the story in the expansion. We're like, why rush to Suwon? Why rush to End of Dragons? There was just no need.
Good luck or whatever.
Yeah, I've said it before. Even so, what I'm trying to argue, right, is that even in a world where they have discovered, oh fuck, this is bad, we need to move on to an expansion, that still didn't have to come with the decision to rush the Char Civil War and Prime Orders and all that. It didn't have to be that. They could have been slow and they could have dragged it out, so to speak. They could have done every storyline justice. Just sell it to me, you know. Okay, so I think we lose an achievement or something there using the Jade bot, don't we? Also, I've completely lost the sense of what direction I'm supposed to go in. This way? This is the hard jump, isn't it? There we go. But yeah, look, it's all old stuff now. We're in a new era, and VOE's doing all right. Cozy rant stream. Is that right? Can it be cozy and a rant? Is that how it goes? Because I'm pretty sure, you know, when people talk about my really cozy series, I don't really think they do have rants in them. I mean, I've certainly always been ranty. I actually had a comment from someone saying on one of the Reforged videos, saying, oh, WP, I heard about Reforged. I came straight back to your channel. You were the first thing that I did. I clicked it and it's amazing. Your content is exactly the same. You sound the same, and you're still not afraid to put fools in their places, which I thought was interesting, because I don't really remember. But, you know, what they might be alluding to. But there you go. But I like that. That's a good sense of continuity, isn't it? That's the benefit of not doing a face cam. Because I really do think this content is 99% the same. I responded in a comment and said I should have put the Dust Force music on. Oh no, that was someone else. But still, the Dust Force soundtrack is great. Some of you guys won't know what I'm talking about there, but trust me, it used to appear in a lot of my videos. Okay, then it says find the piece of the mask in Castoro. That's so generic as a description. Do I get to keep Wayant's note and I can read it? It's a bit like the cat thing. So I can browse it at my leisure. Yeah, here you go. Actually, I can. Okay. Another piece is near the souls of long dead sailors. See, some of these are pretty vague. The other three pieces should be safe and secure on the island waiting for me. I doubt anyone will get past the traps or find the grotto. So it's in a grotto. It's in a Skimmer grotto. It says the other three pieces, but then it only lists 2 locations. Okay, so I'm going to wiki this because, you know, hunting through every single grotto might take a while. Find the piece of the mask in Castora. It's in the Green Root Grotto, Skimmerway. It's in the... Okay, so we go to the meta, and then from there they have like guidance for me. I haven't aged in 14 years. Yeah, I know, right?
I pursue the bark of the bright leaf in a race against death itself. Help a young one in need. Join us.
Simakis says, by the way, I love your name. Banger is still alive and mentioned often enough. Do you think Arenanet can make a good comeback for Civil War with him? Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because despite everything I just said, they kind of did leave some ideas on the table. Wait, I got really distracted here and ended up coming to the party member, but I think the party member is already in the grotto, and I need to find a way down. You know, as much as I just ranted, the truth is, as far as the world building is currently concerned, as far as Tyrion is currently concerned, yeah, Bangar is still alive, and they do talk about him, and I think that they do appreciate him as a really, really great character. You know, they mentioned Kreesha as well. Malice was in the previous expansion. Char politics are at the fore, right? Well, they're not at the fore, but they are mentioned and alluded to often enough that it feels like Arenanet are saying, hey, we like this idea. You know, they can't unring the bell of what they did with Smolder. But, you know, if they reframe the Drizzlewood stuff as, you know, just sort of a precursor to something larger, I think we actually can have our cake and eat it too. I think that whatever damage, if that's the right term, was done with the Icebreed Saga, yeah, we probably can move past it, and they can do a big Char, you know, Khan-Er storyline in a big way. So, yeah, I still see there's lots of potential for it in the future, and it's one of the reasons that, you know, there's no need to be too salty about it or whatever. Oh, it's this grotto, also known as the grotto with the really little jumping puzzle that you can skip with a single jade bot, right? Not sure I just successfully did that there. Maybe, actually? Maybe not, actually. Is this the one with the jumping puzzle? Oh, that sound effect. It's not as good as the chair. Cogs of War back on the menu. Yeah, I really do think there's nothing that says they can't pick up some interesting characters there, and they can't do that closer look at their culture and the areas of the world that they live. And hey, you know, that Guild Wars Reforged thing, maybe, again, it was a mistake, but I say roll with it if it was a mistake. The JP is all the way in the south. So wait, have I messed this up? No, we're definitely in the right place. I can see the markers right there. It's underwater, I think. Yeah, they can do it. Yeah, that Guild Wars Reforged thing suggesting about Char religion before they, you know, when they were in Ascalon. You know, the ancient history of the Char. You know, and flesh out more history about where the claw itself comes from, the original Kana, who they were, and all that stuff. Could be really good. You know, who knows? Maybe by the end of this story, we'll get a glimpse back in time and Ritlock will be standing next to us. And at that glimpse back in time, we will see the Kana, the original Kana, you know? And Ritlock will break the news to some other people. And it will be like, what's the phrase? Like a match in a Tinder house, a Tinder box, or whatever. You get what I mean? The crate appears to be empty. One of the nearby freebooters may have already taken what was inside. Oh, really now? Just gonna have a quick look here. Okay, Tyda still looks like she's a while away. Right. This is amazing having people playing in-game, by the way, and guiding us around. Defeat Tyda. Find the piece of the mask on one of the freebooters in Castora. Wow. It's a random drop from freebooter enemies, easily farmable anywhere in the Twisting Hollows. Okay. So, back to the meta area, I guess. And I'm not going through the grotto because I think I'll get lost. So we'll go this way. Alright, let's head up. The hills. I guess if I just see any freebooters on the way, I can hear them, right? I feel bad about Herbalist Fabrice, because I very rarely do his event. I actually, like, I definitely am... I don't do this map as much as the second map. Like, I much more rarely have keys and stuff for the mirrors and things, which feels like a bit of a mistake on my part. Probably, so once this series goes away, obviously I'm going to continue playing Guild Wars, and I'll round out these last bits and pieces, you know. The Extremis armor and stuff, and it will just involve a lot more doing random events around on this map, I think. There we go. Here's the freebooters, and I guess we just hit them.
Getting healthy. There's the power.
So remember, this build, we give ourselves shit tons of quickness, but also when we dodge on people, we do damage or like blast or spam them with burns because of evasive arcana. But also, we give ourselves alacrity. So this is an everything boon build. Solo, all boons. which just allows us to hit things and... Oh, the meta area was just around the corner. Oh, damn. You still need the shoulder skin from the first map's mirrors? Yeah, me too. But it never drops. Oh, dear. See, for me, I've been assuming it's just because I don't really do the mirrors that much. There we go. We got it already. Okay, so we just have to wait for Tyda now. Uh-oh. Now, how far away is she? Because... Well, let's just go to the map, I guess, and have a look. I'm going to go to Wiki ET here as well now. I actually have to do Triple Trouble as well. Back with the Fractal event, just before the expansion came out, they gave you an incentive to play this again, and I haven't done it yet. Tyda Covington. Oh, it's 20 minutes. So we could go back to the other quest if there's anything good that's actually possible there. Let's see. Oh, wait. Was the other quest asking me to do one of their metas? Visions of Eternity. Castoran Culture. A Magical Journey. Oh, that was the Ghost Escort. I'm just going to have to go to... Wiki on this. The Magical Journey. Let's just see what we can do, shall we? And yeah, I don't know if you guys have got any questions. Last bit of community back and forth, I guess. It took you an hour to get that item? What? That's crazy. Guild Wars does steps like that all the time, and they always drop in like a hit or two. Yeah, you can get the VOE rewards from PvP and World vs. World reward tracks. Yeah, we talked about this.
Hey, Westergaard.
I do know.
Got strange reports from Hammerheart
But I'd like to get it the real way,
Air's
so to
crackling,
speak, where
smells
possible.
like
Unless it's like
lightning.
ridiculously grindy and annoying,
Excited
which I
you
think the
gave
chess
me her
piece might be.
communicator,
But the rest of it, I don't mind.
insists you'd help, so help. Thanks.
Right, let's just go back here and see if that ghost event is up. The essence of a seer's spirit.
So that's my idea. I'll gather up the priory and head due west through the forest.
And when you lose your sense of direction and can't see the sun.
It's Explorer Trigrave that we want. Ah, there he is. It's there. It's this event.
The inquest have been spotted. We're
No
under
secrets to uncover, just standing around
There's
here.
the power.
He's following a seer ghost. I don't think I ever actually streamed this. This is quite cool. The ghost is like, oh, I'll lead you to some treasure, but then it's just being a dick, which is kind of fun. It's nice to see more seers, more seer characters. I don't actually know where the ghost is right now. Those are obviously ritualist spirits. Jesus Christ, and a hell of a lot of inquest because it's overlapping with this other thing.
Brilliant ember.
Arenanet's collection RNG is whack for Vision. You had an entire squad waiting for 20 minutes because the item from the worms in corner wouldn't drop. 49 other people had no issue. Yeah, maybe sometimes just an account gets like crazy unlucky.
This better be worth it. Let's go.
There you go. There he is speaking. These guys all have like a weird Vizier Kilbrony type accent. Do you guys think that that's a coincidence, or do you think it's something about how Seer architecture, Seer life, Seer city inhabitants influenced Orion culture later? Do you think that they'll go that far? Which therefore is why Kilbron had the voice.
Getting healthy.
What is this guy doing? Why is he breaking that wall? Come on, get out of here. Oh no, I didn't just bug that shit, did I? No! No, Trigrave. There's nothing there. Oh, there is something here.
Part of a volcano. A ripple in the earth.
Should we try and re-skimmer? And it's on cooldown right now, so I can't. There we go. Uh-oh. I mean, I literally just saw...
Never felt better. An ancient mountain. 1,000 storms.
It's weird to get all my energy off of just a wall. You like that seer at the adventure post? Out of PC, what happened to this place? And the seer chuckles, time, you imbecile. I haven't heard that dialogue. Which adventure? Wait, have I missed a whole adventure? That would be so cool, wouldn't it? If it turned out I had missed a whole adventure. But that's not possible because I would have seen the achievements and stuff. Oh, there you go. The wall is back. Should I break them or not? Oh, dude, this doesn't seem right. Unless it's just because this event is up and the wall won't go away because of this event.
There's the power. Embrace the world
Oh my god, the fucking stuns. Can you let me in, please?
A swirling gust. Hurts does biggery.
Oh, we can throw everything on that break bar and there was just no point.
For now, at
Oh,
least.
what a pleasant surprise.
One must take the victories afforded, however small.
I feel responsible for this.
An ocean trench.
You think the Ore was a seer nation state the human gods formed their nation on the rubble of? So the seers make Ore, they get wiped out by the Masat, and then like the human gods go effectively as squatters later. I think that tracks, yeah. I think that was a bit more overlap than that though, right? Because the seers and the gods did interact. Well, how much overlap was there though? Because the seers were pretty much wiped out by the time of the Exodus and everything. I mean, in fact, how many years even were the gods on Tyria? It was only like 100 or 2, right? It wasn't much. Maybe not even that? See, it's popped up again here now. Do I just let him hit it? I give him quickness and might and see if he will ever be satisfied?
1,000 storms.
This is very odd because it's like... Wow, leaving Debbie in the dust for a second. If you were the head of Arenanet, what would you do with Guild Wars Reforged with the timeline of 18 months? Well, I don't know. Give me a number in terms of... that's impossible to answer. I would say give me a budget, but I don't know how far money would stretch, how many devs that would get. So I would say, okay, give me a head count, how many people are on the team, and I still don't know. You don't know how fast one guy works or another guy works, or what's possible or what's impossible. Hell, even the people you're hiring don't know that until they get in there and run some analysis. So I have no idea. Like, what would you even say? Because it's like, I don't know what's viable. I know what you're thinking. Just humor me, WP.
No secrets to uncover, just standing around here.
Yeah, I can see you're just fucking standing around there, mate. You need to get... Oh. There you go, I broke it. So I really don't know. So you've given me 18 months, but what does it? How does that help? What?
Heart of a volcano.
I would have 5 campaigns get made in those 18 months. I would have them make a campaign because it only took them 18 months to make Nightfall, right? Actually, I don't know how long it takes. Nightfall they turn around pretty fucking quick, but it overlapped with factions too, so it's hard to tell. And also was insane, not to be expected ever again. I don't know. There are lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of things I would like to do. I would definitely open... I've got like a huge script, actually, I think. I can't remember if I released it in the end or what. Of stuff I'd like to see on the balance front. I would definitely kick up some balance, guys. 100%. I don't believe in this thing that they're saying, oh, we don't want to tamper with the game that these people love and shit. No, there's fucking insane power creep in the game that, like, really detrimentally affects the learning curve and affects, like, the pace of people playing through it and kind of ruins the magic of the game. And then on the end game, it can affect some things. So I 100% would do that. I would shuffle a lot of skills around. I would do... I can't just say this stuff so briefly, but like items and equipment and stuff as well. I think there's a lot more interesting stuff that can come out just with some slight tweaks. Maybe we give him super speed and he'll do something. I think it's over, guys. I don't know. What are some other low-hanging fruit? I believe the hero thing, making Divona, Menlo, Sin, and so on heroes is excellent. I would 100%. So, by the way, I'm a big believer in Guild Wars Reforged. You know Guild Wars Beyond, right? It's like the name for a series of patches. Guild Wars Beyond had the War in Kryta, and then it had Hearts of the North, and then it had Winds of Change, right? That was Guild Wars Beyond. I believe in Reforged as the same thing, right? Reforged isn't the Steam Deck update. That's just the beginning, right? I believe in Reforged as like it's going to have chapters. Or that is how I would do it. So Reforged and they would act just like Beyond chapters. So and I would have I don't know whether I really care about the Palawa Joko Nightfall side stuff, especially now that they've just eaten him in Guild Wars 2. But through a chapter of that, I would make Divona, Sin, Aiden, Menlo, and question mark Mesmer, by the way. Durheim? I don't know. But I would have those guys become heroes, 100%. But yeah, I wouldn't be nervous. I wouldn't be as scared as they are. It's exactly what I was talking about earlier. It's your game. And I think they would have a lot of goodwill. And I don't believe they can kill it as well. That's the other thing, right? Like, what is the risk here? I think what I would like Arenanet to really think about is that there's not... I'm going to go wait by Tyder here, since we're ranting anyway, and I definitely don't want to miss it. There you go, look, she's got the big orange skull there. Like, what's the fear with messing with balance, right? That you're going to piss everyone off and kill Guild Wars 1? No, it's not going to happen. That is not going to... let's assume you make absolutely terrible balance decisions. You create bugs that are causing crashes and all this kind of shit. You still won't kill Guild Wars 1 any more than it's already dead. Right? You won't kill anything. Like, yes, you would get furious raging nerds because they can't farm in the underworld because PvP meta change, because this, that, or the other thing. Yes, but it doesn't actually amount to anything. Like, what you equally get at the same time as that is a huge audience of people who are excited because meaningful things are happening to the game. As soon as the game is in that place where meaningful stuff can happen, this beautiful four-letter word creeps into the equation, hope, right? Like people will be endlessly optimistic that you're going to do a good patch, that you're going to put out some good content, that you're going to do a really good balance update, that things will be fixed, that things will be tweaked. But they will only have that if there is movement. So don't be scared of movement. Movement is good, right? Ambition is good. Push and see what you can do. I don't agree with this timidness, you know? I don't agree with that quote that is, we don't want to change the game that you love. We just want to make it more accessible. I think that change is a part of these services, and I would rather see it change a little, but be alive and be something to talk about and be something on people's minds than just slowly wither away into nothing. It's the exact same fucking situation as what we were talking about with World versus World earlier, you know? Now, obviously, I'm not advocating for ill-informed changes. I agree with scoping it out carefully. I agree with not setting up too big expectations and biting off more than you can chew and disappointing people. I agree with doing your homework, you know, from just the technical side of it, but also like the design side. You know, I'm not saying to be flippant, but I'm saying don't ever believe that nothing is better than something. That's what I think about Reforged. So building out the core game, rebalancing it, making it more evergreen, renewing interest in what's already there. Yes, definitely. Like, I would look at game fundamentals, definitely. But I think that an absolutely vital component is something new. I think it is essential that there's a new chapter coming. You know, that there is a DLC people can buy as well. I'm actually talking bigger scope than Hearts of the North. I'm talking bigger scope than Winds of Change. Winds of Change, you know, like kind of had missions almost. It gave you heroes to unlock. Winds of Change was actually pretty big, right? And there were a lot of skins and things. But what they were doing with that was they were monetizing it through the gem store and selling outfits and stuff. I believe in like I want to get as close as possible to campaigns. No, let's put it, I want to get as close as possible to Eye of the North style expansions that are sold on that fucking store. That to me, that is the dream. That is what to aim for. Would I consent to that kind of thing in the first 18 months? No. I think I would look at if we're going to say every 18 months is a batch, just as like 18 months for Guild Wars 2 is a mini X-Pack, right? I would say the first 18 is strictly about fundamental game changes, small content drops like at getting the heroes, Devonna and so on, right? And like little things like that, but content nonetheless. I would put the first 18 months on that because that you learn so much over that time, right? And then after that, yeah, I'd say, all right, fuck it, let's go for something like Eye of the North. Hell yeah, I'd say yes to that. Hell fucking yeah. Oh, a PTR for Guild Wars 1 might be cool. That's an interesting idea too, yeah. I don't think that they would get the correct feedback though, because the only people joining that are the like absolute no-life nerds that have been following Guild Wars 1 for too long, like myself. And we don't necessarily really know what the new players... Well, no, let me put it another way. Don't necessarily advocate for what the game needs. I would always be pushing for the thickest chunk of the bell curve when it came to Guild Wars 1 updates. I wouldn't be advocate... Like, it's like I feel like PTR feedback would be like, oh, I want Energy Surge to be tweaked. Because blah, 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 blah. But that's already too late stage for me. Like, I think there's actually much...
It has life.
More critical changes, bigger bang for buck changes that can come in before we start dealing with that. But so like the conversation would be pushed into a place that like I don't really care about the existing audience as much as I care about growing the audience when it comes to Guild Wars 1. Maybe that's wrong though. I'm not saying that's right. Perhaps they should only care about the existing audience. How about a bonus mission pack where each mission unlocks a henchman as a hero? That's a funny idea. What would you pay for a bonus mission pack where it's one mission? What would you pay for one mission and you get the henchman as a hero at the end? I mean, it's funny when we start talking about this, right? Because then what you're really doing is it's a microtransaction to buy a hero. That's really what it is. It's just got a quest on the front. And that's a funny one too, because that... You know, that's like the Guild Wars 2 gem store. Do you want to buy the skin or the skin with a quest in the front? And the truth is, people just want to buy the skin. They don't actually want to... That's how these markets work. And then it's really weird. You know, because you can look at the bonus mission pack in Guild Wars 1 as, you know, I'm buying the skins, but there's a mission in front. I don't know. So I kind of don't want to deal with bonus mission pack level conversation. I want to keep the frame around Eye of the North. I want to keep the frame around expansions, calling them expansions, multiple regions, several maps. But the question is, like, you know, let's say Dream, as far as I can see, fucking pie in the sky Dream, there's maybe 10 to 15 people working on Guild Wars 1, and even that's pretty expanded, right? 10 to 15 in terms of actually that could do stuff. And we're like 2 years away from them having real expertise with it and back in a smooth rhythm. Can a group like that over 18 months make something Eye of the North-esque? I don't think so. And we have to face the reality that 2 weeks are probably going to want to move on from it at some point. So, you know, like best case scenario here, you're looking at a couple of years of these 2 weeks guys who are like OGs, right? They're getting the tools active again. They're cleaning the tools up for modern standards. They're teaching fresh blood how the tools work. And then they leave. And when they leave, a new generation of minds come to work on Guild Wars 1. And then you get stuff. That is your best case scenario. And it shifts a lot of meaningful stuff for Guild Wars 1, like way down the line. 2 years away at least for like really, really big fancy things. Being realistic here. So, I mean, take what you can get, I guess, right? That is an interesting point. Can you argue battle passes are kind of similar in that sense? Yeah, I think you could, yeah. Tell Moji, by the way, I missed this message. I replayed Winds of Change not too long ago, and it's quite a lot longer than I remembered. It's actually a lot of cool lore. I wish they managed to do some DLC for Guild Wars 1 that would be so hype. Yeah. Like, Winds... in all reality, I think Winds of Change level stuff is about as good as you're going to get. Can they really do new maps? Like, actually new places? Actually new missions? New Are they going to be able to add the Chronomancer? Are they going to be able to add the Summoner? I don't... not in the next 24 months, I'll tell you that much. As far as I could guess. How far can they go? But infrastructure stuff that connects Guild Wars 1 and 2 together more. New Hall of Monuments rewards, unified friends list, unified guilds. These are things that I'm very interested in as well, because both games can be paired together in a strong way, right? Like, I would love it if I could open my guild UI right now, and I can see, you know, Liss is online at the Blood-Tide Coast, but this guy, Venom, Flashcut, he's in the domain of... he's in Corner. It's Guild Wars 1 Corner. It says Corner 250 years ago or something. And I can right-click him, and I can say, oh, hi, do you want to do Tie Hark Orchard? And he says, yeah. And then we play Tie Hark Orchard together. Like, shit like that, I think, is also hugely valuable for Guild Wars 2. Like, to be honest, you say, oh, if I had a position of power or whatever, like, that's the stuff I would be looking at before anything else. Because, like, once you get that kind of infrastructure in, Guild Wars 1 never dies, right? It's not... like, you don't want to... you don't want to set up anything where it's like you just have to keep grinding content out in perpetuity, and as soon as it stops, the player base interest leaves. You want that base game, you want the base infrastructure to be fun and interesting, just always, so that even when your content dries up, people are still checking it out, right? And I think connection to Guild Wars 2 is a big thing, and this is all very important for Project Tyria as well. Same fucking thing. Let me see this as a champion here. And it's melting as fast as an elite. Nice that the world boss is finally up, by the way. This is quite a long one as well. It takes ages to get all the kegs through.
Accelerating.
Unless they release a set of missions for $9.99 to $14.99, it might compete with Mercenary Henchies too. Well, yeah, I'll tell you, actually, there is something I believe that they can do, and I would set this up for sure. What Grinding Gear Games does with PoE. Right, like, Arenanet are pitch perfect right now to do supporters packs. Like, if you guys don't know what these are, it's effectively... it's a microtransaction with a heavier price tag on it. But what it is it's the devs are saying, hey, we're a small indie studio. We're going back to early Path of Exile 1, right? Hey, this is to fund the game. Are you a fan of the game? This is to fund this. This is to pay our devs. This is because you want to support us. Do you want to buy the supporters pack? And you get skins and stuff in game. You get something from it. But the customer is told at the start, hey, this is kind of marked up. But the reason it's marked up is because, you know, you want to support us. You're happy to pay this. And, like, it's very honest the whole time. Like, and so when you look at Guild Wars 1 purchases today, when you look at, like, the Cupcake drive that they did, you know, there were 2 Cupcake drives. I was a part of both of them. you have a community there with Guild Wars 1 right now where they desperately want to support the team. They want to pay. They want to help these people out. And I think if Arenanet put on their cash shop, hey, look, we're doing supporters packs. This is pricey, but look, we want to do this because we want this to be worth it. And it worked very well for PoE. I don't see why it wouldn't work for Guild Wars 1. And now is the time to set that up as well, because look, right now everyone loves you. Everyone loves you at the moment, Arenanet, in 2 weeks. They love you. But you will make mistakes, and you will get people's backs up over fucking bullshit, right? And that goodwill will dry up. So, but get people on board with the supporters packs now, and it will dry up less. You know, there's that psychological thing. Have you guys ever heard of this thing about how, like, if you want someone to like you, ask them to do you a favor. Have you guys ever heard of this? It's a really interesting psychological quirk among us as people. But, like, when we do something for someone else, we kind of, like, mentally justify it as though, oh, there had to have been a reason I did that. And it, like, solidifies or, like, forges, like, a bond. It's a thing. Trust me. Look it up. And I 100% believe the same thing would be true with support packs, right? Like, if people just nakedly went in there and spent, like, a lot of money, $20, $30, $40, on some shitty little microtransactions, but they've spent a lot and they knew they did it as a favor, they would be, like, on board, you know, and they would be ardent defenders of what Arenanet do, and they would be sympathetic when Arenanet make a mistake, and they would be patient when they make a mistake, and they would be, you know, let's wait and see about it, you know, because they're on that. You want people to be in that situation. You don't want it to be, oh shit, we just did a really, really shoddy launch. Can we have your money now, please? Because they'll never, it's too late, you've lost them at that point. So yeah, I believe in supporter pack monetization. And if, like, so, and people are in that position. When the 20th anniversary happened, I didn't really need to buy all those bank tabs. I didn't really need them. I knew that I was just there to finish my last couple of titles for Super Graham and then to get out, right? But I bought them because I wanted to telegraph to Arenanet that I was willing to spend money. What would happen now, though, with the Steam Deck release? I already have the tabs. I'll buy a supporters pack, but you've got to put one on the store for me. You've got to put one there. You're correct. The same logic applies to Nintendo fans too. I think there's language barriers that really support Nintendo fans, actually, which I've always... That's another story, I guess. I think they get less criticism because there's... One of the elements of internet discourse around our favorite live service games is everything is couched as a plea to the devs. Everything. You go on Reddit, everyone's hoping the devs are reading it. You go to the forums, everyone's hoping that the devs are reading it. You go to Twitter, everyone's hoping that the devs are reading it. That's why everyone's so hysterical. That's why everyone massages the truth. And you end up with this culture where people are hyper hysterical. This is unacceptable. This is not right. This is the best thing in the world. This is the worst thing in the world. Everyone's like, oh, gamers are just fucking hysterical and stuff. But you know what it is? It's because they're all just desperate to have their case made. And so all this rhetoric gets into it. It's not just naked conversation for the sake of conversation. It's that it's rhetoric. They're begging the devs to hear. And what is subtly happening in the background culturally is this culture of internet communication. What is happening is people are getting more and more like hysterical about the points they're making, and they're making them sound bigger and more important because they want to be listened to, and there's no assurance that they're being listened to. And that only dies, like that only recently died with Guild Wars 1. But it will come back in force as time goes by, right? Anyway, so when you're a Western gamer talking about a Western game, there is a sense that they might hear, so you can be hysterical, and you can be fanatical, and you can be really angry, and everything's fucking crazy. However, when you're a Western gamer talking about a Nintendo game, and you really kind of don't get the sense they're listening or give a shit because there's like this big language barrier, and like people kind of mellow out a bit more and people get a bit more relaxed. And that immunizes those students. That insulates, this is a better word. To some extent, that insulates Nintendo from all the big, crazy fucking controversies and hystericism that's out there. They're insulated, and I think it's the language barrier. Well, not just the language barrier, but it's, you know, it's actually the whole, like, hemisphere barrier as well, you know. I think that's a very real thing. I think it happened with CD Projekt as well. You know, when we talk about games that are made, you know, Larian even, you know, when we look at games that are made in Europe and not everyone necessarily speaks that language and they might not have the biggest presence for it, but a lot of that is still very Anglosphere and it's very, you know, they're all speaking English and stuff. I think the barrier is a bit bigger when it comes to Nintendo stuff. Anyway, that's just my shitty little, I'm sure, completely nonsense theory about that. But anyway, we will see. So my point is, now that Reforged is a thing, we will see that hystericism come back. And right now it's all very goodwill and it's all very refreshing and rejuvenating. But we will see that get corrupted over time. There's just no way it won't. So Arenanet just need to accept that's part and parcel of the experience now. And not be afraid to be artists.
Oh, what a pleasant surprise.
That's what I think about all that. I'm very fucking high-horsey and I don't really know what the fuck I'm talking about. Alright. Oh, God, it's so nice to not have all these fish in my inventory anymore. Okay, moving on. We're now near the end, I guess. These last objectives to do. Return to Captain Lakes to figure out how to put all the pieces together. Was Captain Lakes the original guy? You guys are welcome to dispute my little theory there, by the way. Takavian says, Nintendo have also historically never listened to fan feedback. Yeah, like, as soon as there's that... And that's the thing. I think you can't vacillate one way. You can't have both. You can't go online and tell your community about how much you love them and you're listening to them and you're always reading. And then basically not, right? You hard one way or the other. In fact, I don't believe there is such a thing as a company that can listen enough. Like, I follow, like, Storytel, I always have the same examples, right? But Paradox, right? They give you a weekly dev post. Weekly. Every fucking week, there is a huge blog post about what they are developing, what their takes are on the expansion that just released, what they're doing about performance, what they're doing about balance, teasers for upcoming content, behind the scenes from artists, meaningful shit every week. Not only that, but their game director, okay, is there active on the forums, like wading in the muck with like hyper negative nerds, right? Their game director gives personal messages and is in threads. He does weekly blog posts and they have weekly streams, right? This is just Stellaris, in which this guy does weekly fucking streams where he's playing the upcoming expansion and talking to people about it with his marketing guy, okay? That's a lot of communication. That is as good as you can ever ask for. That is... They can't do better than that. And yet there are people on those forums that throw the hissiest of fits about how Paradox doesn't communicate enough. And about how they... Oh, how dare you do blog posts just marketing the Infernals DLC? You need to have separate ones for the performance work at the same time. It's not good enough that you just have a section at the head of the current blog post. It needs to be its own blog post. Like, it is never enough. It is never enough. These fucking people are sitting in, like, the fields of the greenest grass you can imagine, right? The grass is greener over there. They have an absolutely incredible... Can you imagine if I was a fucking dedicated Stellaris content creator? Every week you'd get to cover a fucking blog post. Holy shit. They have it so good, and yet those fucking people will just bitch. Because the thing is, you can always have more. You can always imagine more. You can always imagine better. And so like, I don't actually believe that you can ever hit the bar high enough to satisfy everyone. You just have to accept that these are huge communities, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people in these communities, and there will be nutters that won't be happy, and they're going to put their little opinions online. And you do have to scrutinize which opinions matter, you know? And at some point, that does mean, right, I'm not going to listen to WoodenPotatoes anymore. WoodenPotatoes' opinion doesn't matter. He's too close to the product, or he's too distant from the product, or he's not educated enough, or whatever. Some voices do have to be removed from the conversation. Oh my god, what are we talking about? Let's just go to the fucking captain here. Hello. Hello, Captain Rumen Lakes. Ahoy, hoy! What are you? I found all the pieces of your mask. Mask? Don't know nothing about... What mask? Who are you? Is this like some descendant of Wayne? The aqua breather you told me about. That one the pirate captain had. Pirate captain, aqua breather. You don't mean Wayant? He's not here, is he? No, he's a ghost. Don't worry. How do I put these pieces together? Ah, thank you, gods. Wayne did not take too kindly to me calling myself a captain all this time. Haha. Now, the the mask? Bah, no idea. Maybe talk to Cecil here. Sorry, I've done such a bad drunk voice for him.
Working under pressure truly.
Cecil the strong arm.
In you, Commander. The locals even prefer your concoctions over Pax's. That'll remain our little secret. Wouldn't want them upset.
Hi. So you're a part of this crew? I'm just here to make sure these two don't get in any trouble. Well, any more trouble. Fall asleep on their own beds, that sort of thing. Okay. Lake says you might know about putting these mask pieces together. Not sure if I can help you myself. But there was another member of our crew who washed ashore. I believe he was the one who actually found that mask for Wayne all those years ago. Is he still here on Castora? After we were shipwrecked here, he decided he was done with pirate life. Headed north. I haven't seen him since, but I'd be surprised if he was still kicking around. He was a resourceful guy. I don't understand. So Wayne had the mask and then his crew and he died. There was a mutiny. So he was left to be dead in the Sharkmoor Caverns and these guys fled and ended up on Castora, right? Find the recluse from his crew. Back to Wiki. It's been a while. Find the recluse. The recluse is up at the Leyline Promontory. Oh my god, look at this. I feel like I've been streaming for ages here, and you guys are still amazing. Look at this. Leading me around. I'm just going to TP to a friend here. It's on the other side of the map. Oh, no. Well, shit. It's okay. We'll fly back up. Oh, it wasn't even that high. Hello. Castaway. Castaway ignores you. Oh, I remember you. Excuse me, were you once a member of Wayne's crew? Ages have passed since I heard that name. Would that I'd never heard it again. What do you want? Sorry, I was told you might be able to help me. Well, you stand before me now. What is this help you need? I found these mask pieces, but I'm not sure how they fit together. A mask? Let me see. Ah, yes, I remember this. Wayne asked me to help him track down. Sorry. Wayne asked me to help him track it down. You see, this is an artifact of a spirit of the wild. Shark! A spirit of which I was once a shaman. Oh, it all comes together. I see. Do you know how to fix it? I could help you, yes, but I won't. Not unless you can prove to me that your intentions are honorable. That you would use the magic of this mask to follow the teachings of Shark with respect. How would I do that? Man, I'd love to unlock Shark for the evoker, like an otter skin, maybe. Far from here is a sanctuary called Honor of the Waves. Yeah, I know it. Before I was shipwrecked here, there was a spirit of Shark I would commune with near this sanctuary. I'm familiar with that, actually. I have sensed that the spirit is in distress, that the sanctuary might somehow be involved. If you could go there, try to find the spirit, aid it. I would consider that proof of your intentions. Wow, I didn't think we'd be going to Honor of the Waves. Is it just going to ask me to do the dungeon, or is there a little more going on here? Find the spark spirit, the shark spirit near the Honor of the Waves. Wow. I'm much enjoying myself. I don't remember a shark spirit near here, to be honest. In the water? There's like a jellyfish. No, it's not a jellyfish. Is it the hero challenge that's underneath? No. Oh my god, there's just a shark swimming around now. Wow, this is totally new. Look at how cool that is. It only spawns for the collection. That's so cool. As you draw near the spirit, you can feel its presence in your mind. How can I help, Great Spirit? The spirit gazes at you, and you feel an immense sadness emanating from it. Images of the sanctuary nearby flit through your mind, and you see Coden living peaceful lives before the Ice Brood attacked. Allow the images to continue to filter through my mind's eye. The spirit shows you images of the 3 sons of Svarnir, the Zealot, the Plunderer, and the Butcher. These are the bosses of the explorable paths. You can feel anger pulsing from the spirit. They're the ones responsible for the destruction of the sanctuary? You feel confirmation from the spirit. You sense that the spirit is regretful, but resolute. It feels strongly that they must be stopped. Oh, you want me to do the dungeon?
Search the waters for castaways. Some are likely injured and will need help getting back to shore.
Complete one of the paths to help the shark spirit. Wow, this will be cool, guys. Let's do this together. Let's do P1 since it's the quick one. Power creep and all that might be interesting. A full team would be nice. We only have 2 players, so if anyone else wants to join, if you want to join in at the very end of the Let's Play, now's your chance.
We thought the huntsman's death would bring balance to our home, but it is not so. Instead, 3 of his prized animals have been unchained and roam free on this sanctuary. There is a zealot for Jormag who believes every kill is a prize that brings him closer to his evil master. Somewhere lurks a plunderer who will erase all of our culture and history if he is not stopped. And last is a fiend who readies an army to march through our home, bathing us all in blood. Consider these threats, then say which one you will help me vanquish.
Einolf says, content creators for PDX games do get shit because they're getting DLCs for free. These dumbasses say they're biased. No shit, people are biased without getting it free. You know, if we're going to talk about bias and stuff... oh, by the way, the faceplate here for Broken here in the party chat looks so good. If we're going to talk about bias, you know, we got to be honest with Guild Wars 2. You know, all of us content creators pushing affiliate links. I don't actually know whether that's a thing over on PDX's side. Do they have affiliate links? Okay, which dog of Jormag will we hunt? The Butcher. God, do you think we can 2-man this? I'm going to play Zakiro's Demolisher for this. And I'm going to get rid of Evoker. I'm going to take the damage reduction this time. Plus those 2. And I'm going to take water. Which basically means I won't die. As far as I remember. This is like very high QOL variation. We can take the double cast there. Signet of Water would be another heal, which might be nice. I'm going to take Stunbreak. Oh, Armor of Earth is epic. I fucking love Armor of Earth. In fact, this is triple Stunbreak here again. I don't need this. We can take the we can take this and then weapon swap to our hammer. And this was Zakiros. We don't want Pirate Queen. Let's take Rivers. Okay, I think ultimately I should be okay here. This isn't actually Celestial, so I don't know.
Armor enhanced. An ocean trench.
If only you wasn't in NA. Yeah, sorry to NA. What is it? Am I in NA or EU right now? See, these mobs actually hit quite hard, by the way. The fact that we're able to just kill them is awesome.
Getting healthy.
Anyway, just type slash... We are on EU. Okay, so just type /join list, guys, and you'll be able to get in the party. Fuck it, let's go downstairs. Let's clear all of them.
An ancient mountain.
Nice little moment of getting to use Earth 2 there to deflect projectiles. Something you very rarely do in PvE.
Getting healthy.
Remembering all the runs that we've done in the past. You know, hiding on walls, being careful of this fucking troll. Okay, I'm gonna elite here because it will give me 2 CCs for that break bar. Look at this.
Getting healthy.
Cleanse the weakness. Look at that troll's HP bar going down. It used to be that with 5 people you wouldn't see it go down that fast. All right, nice. There you go. Yeah, and we don't need to do that bonus event because we went downstairs the whole way. Oh man, the fiery Orags is very cool.
Weapons, but I don't
There you go, there's a player. Welcome, welcome. Used to hide here. This was the stack spot. Completely unnecessary now. We're gonna end up going down here.
A dozen screamed as I pulled out their hearts. I could kill a dozen more.
That's nothing. I killed fathers and mothers. No, I hunt their children. Ha! Yes, that's the spirit. Now be ready, you dogs. We'll march through this boat and kill them all.
They do get affiliate links, I see. I've had some weird moments, because I don't really play that game, but I do mod it. And I quite often would like access to... Oh, he's just spamming blocks for now? How do we stop that? I would like access to the game, the DLC, because they get access to DLCs early as well, don't they? And I would love that, just so that I can make my mods early. So like Infernals is coming out in a minute. And I've got a mod that if I get all the portraits, I can improve it. I've got a mod, like there's a new world class coming, Volcanic. So for my Planet View mod, I've got to get some Volcanic world art going and stuff. Like it'd be nice to just have that done, like now, so that when the DLC lands, I just have it. And they used to do a thing where they gave modders access to clients early, but only really big mods. And I wouldn't qualify for that, but I've often thought to myself, you know what? I would probably qualify as a content creator though, which is kind of weird, right? That I'd have to go to that. I'd have to go just because I have this YouTube channel. That route's the one that's more open to me.
We journey on through this opening. Beyond here, the Coda Killer awaits.
Even though, to be perfectly honest, and I'm not bragging or anything here, I am one of the more active modders in that scene now for a long time. But the thing is, the big mods just have all the inertia from previous years and launch, you know, so their numbers look bigger.
An ocean trench.
You remember the ice bow spot? Yeah. Jumping down here was chaos as well. I never enjoyed this dungeon, not because it's bad or anything. I'm not criticizing the content, but at the end of a dungeon, this would be like the last thing you do at the end of a dungeon run, or our group would do, because we never liked doing a RAR that much. And I was always so tired and just knackered by the end here. Does stab help with this? No. Damn.
A ripple in the earth.
Unstabbable knockback. And it was always so fiddly when there was a wipe or whatever. Wow, did it just get disabled? That was quick. Oh, it's because someone's already here. Oh god, you guys made it already. Holy shit. These guys were really deadly as well. You'd have to put them into a corner.
My sons.
A swift stream.
You're consumed by sickness.
And here you go, final boss. Now, this guy used to give himself retail from one of the totems.
You have turned my den into an atrocity. Your rampage ends here.
And how was killing your own children? Come and tell me of the slaughter. They died for me as loyal servants to Dragon. Their faith was weak, easily broken with a violent hand.
If you want to know violence, I will teach you.
Oh man, I don't remember that cutscene. So, retaliation isn't really a thing anymore, so I wonder... Yeah, it's now a resolution totem. Huh. Well, we'll kill him on this, because killing the prot totem speeds the fight up a lot, so... Try to kill it if we can. I mean, killing the resolution one's probably not... killing all of them's alright. Regen as well, counteracting... Well, it depends how strong that regen is, actually, I suppose. Look at that. Very nice, guys. Very casual, fun little dungeon. So look, when you guys get to doing your aqua breather, just remember this. It wasn't hard. Fun little easy moment there. Look, that was just a couple players there.
My kin, my children. The air of violence hangs over them. It will take time to restore what has been lost. We shall recover. We will restore balance. Their legacy will be assured its proper place. But a shadow still hangs over us. It looms from the north, threatening to cover us all. We shall mourn. We shall remember. But we must walk with vigilance. Be well and be ready, travelers.
You will never understand why Arenanet went for single circle platform encounters rather than make new dungeon paths. Listen, I would love new dungeon paths. I think they made a mistake going 10-man with the raids. I think it was just an awful fucking grab at World of Warcraft players and shit. I think it was awful, right? I really, really, really do. And I wish they did dungeons. But you just said you'll never understand why they did it. It's really obvious why they did it, all right? Dungeons, they could never get a grip on dungeons. People were skipping and breaking and map hopping and bugging through terrain and cheesing in a million ways that they couldn't anticipate and was grindingly slow and horrible and awful for them to deal with. So it makes sense to me that they wanted something a bit more refined and to focus on the raids, especially when half the community was screaming for it. So going to 10-man was a real mistake, but I get why. I mean, I still believe in dungeons, and story dungeons especially. Also, you got to look, they did try new dungeons. In Season 1, they did a couple of new dungeons, but never fully integrated them. I don't really understand that. They should have. I mean, they're fractals now, but there was a big gap there, which was very odd. And then Twilight Aetherpath, they, like, killed a dungeon to add one, but that was, like, really good, but it was too hard and too inaccessible. And instead of going back and dealing with the new player experience and the personal story and teaching players to be better, they just let it rot. They saw on their stats that people weren't playing it. They saw on their stats it was causing people to quit, and then they never focused on it again.
Statistically speaking, this is rather rare.
But yeah, I think there should have been dungeons in Season 2. I think there should have been dungeons in Heart of Thorns. I think there should have been dungeons all the way. And in fact, guys, when you watch my Final Fantasy XIV Let's Plays, and I do recommend them, really, check out my ARR LP already on this channel, or my full one on my second channel. The dungeons are like some of the most fun, amazing, exciting moments in the story. Like, I love getting to dungeons in those. They're so cinematic. They're like the MMO equivalent of going on, like, the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disney World or something, right? Like, they're so fun, and there's such a good vibe. And Guild Wars is missing out by not having them. And they fucked up. So, yeah. All right, okay. Do I go back to the shark now? He's still got a marker. Return to the shark? Yeah, I guess we return to the shark and then we return to the guy. As you draw in the spirit, you can feel his presence. I have returned from the Honor of the Waves. The Butcher has been defeated. Nice! Is that dynamic based on the path I picked? The spirit sees your memory of entering the sanctuary and the actions you took there. You feel its sadness over death, but you also feel its hope for the future of the sanctuary. One of the paths has you actually go on... The other two paths actually have a bunch of underwater in them. And one of them's filled with shark spirits, I think, right? Or jellyfish, at least. I hope this helps you find peace. You feel the spirit's acceptance of your aid. Its presence begins to fade from your mind, and a final image enters your vision. The spirit's blessing. Farewell, great spirit. Thank you. That was really cool. Why is that on autocast? That was... I didn't expect to be asked to go to a dungeon. I love that. Return to the shaman.
Search the waters for Castor.
Oh, wow, guys. This is it. The end of the roads. Yeah, those fractals were a fantastic dungeon, actually. Yeah, like, the fractals don't even take you through all of the dungeon stuff. You know, like, the Season 1 replay now helps with that even more. But, like, backpedaling through the Mitrin, from the start of the Mitrin fractal back, you can see all the really cool areas and, like, the amazing waves and stuff. Thankfully, they have put a lot of collections and stuff over the years and fractal progression on, like, just weird things going back there. So, I think they've got their use out of it now. But, yeah. The castaway ignores you. Well, look, I helped the shark, as you asked. Yes. I see Shark's blessing upon you. You have done as I asked. I will uphold my part of the bargain. All that I ask is you keep in mind the principles of Shark while you use this mask. Well, what are the principles of Shark? But okay, certainly. Very well, I will assemble the mask and transfer Shark's blessing to it. Yes, that should suffice. Do you need anything else?
Oh, yes.
All I desire for the rest of my days is peace and quiet. Perhaps you'll want these someday as well, traveller? Until then, I hope this mask serves you well. Oh, look, another hint at Guild Wars 3, guys. The commander's going to retire in the new generation. Ah! All right. There it is. A Galius container. And what does this mean? It's Latin for something, did someone say? So this is a 3-in-1 legendary, but, you know, I know that's not as exciting as... So we go. Place in the Mystic Forge with a gift of Castoran Mastery, a gift of the Survivors, and a gift of the People to create the Aqua Breather. Now, all 3 of those gifts are the same as if you're making Ancora, I believe. I think Kerry told me about this. Well, that's so weird. The tooltip is floating super high up above it. Why? That's really weird, isn't it, guys? Why is the tooltip so high? So the gift of Castoran Mastery is... So the Wreath of Service and the Compass, the gift of the People, the gift of the Survivors. That's also the gift of the Survivors. That's also the gift of the People. And that's the gift of the Seas. So look, I don't know how it fully works, making the legendary. What I can say, guys, is follow me on Blue Sky. Oh, we got a carving of Jormag there. Follow me on Blue Sky, and I will definitely tweet. I will post when I've made it. I'll talk a little bit about my experience of it. It's possible that in the next episode of the Let's Play, 90 days from now... well, 90 days? Let's have a look here. You know, I might talk a bit about it. I will have it on the next part. 72 days. But yeah, that's not going to be happening on screen. But we did the quest bit. And we can become a shark. And that was good. There you go, guys. Visions of Eternity. Everything except a bit about this Shadow Stone. If you want to play it yourself, you know, I do have a link talking about the affiliate links. Please do feel free to click that. I'm pretty small potatoes. You know, I'm not a big content creator. Anyone in any way that can help me out, whether that's just buying the game for yourself after clicking the link, that seriously makes a difference to me. So maybe you'd like to do that. Alternatively, if you guys want to, and if you open the description, I have a link to my Patreon campaign, which is like the main... If anybody goes there and funds me on Patreon, please do consider that. You know, you get a special title and stuff in Discord and things. Please do consider that. Or just become a member here on YouTube. We only have a couple, so if you'd like to be a member, that would be fantastic too. Just thank you guys. I hope you've enjoyed this Let's Play. I hope it hasn't been too ranty or whatever. Or I hope it has been really ranty, if that's what you've been looking forward to. And yeah, that's another one done. Thank you all. I will be returning to Oblivion for my next project. Keep an eye out over the next couple of days. It will be happening quick. And we'll be working our way through that. And then hopefully by the end of the year, we can look at FF14 as well. But, you know, I'm not going to rush Oblivion. My goal is to play the game, beat it, and do Shivering Isles. So we'll just see how it is. I suspect those will be very quiet episodes because people don't usually like to tune in if it's not Guild Wars. So I highly encourage you guys to come along. Please keep me company there. It would be cool to have some chat going and all that. And yeah, there you go. That's enough plugging. That's enough begging for your viewership. Thank you, guys. Join us over in Discord if you want to chat. There's just a bunch of links in the description. You know, I'll say that this has definitely been my favourite mini X-Pack so far. Let's see how the post patches go. I'll see you next time, guys. Oh, probably before Oblivion, there'll be some more Reforged coverage. Well, I don't know. I don't know how all the timing is going to work out. It would be really nice if it was the start of November right now instead of the 20th. Reforge is until like a bit into December, so okay, yeah. We'll see how we can juggle it. But yeah, Reforge to come as well. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye. Bye.